Thank you for tuning into another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from alien sightings to demonic spirits latching onto unsuspecting targets at the supermarket that might just leave you shocked and fearful. Ready? Let's jump in. When people think of the devil, they often imagine a hideous being with horns and a menacing presence. Recently, a man captured footage that he believes shows the devil himself. The creature, perched ominously on his wall, appeared as though it was trying to climb into his house.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum.
The unsettling figure had black fur, razor-sharp teeth, and dog-like ears on its head. While it lacks the traditional horns often associated with depictions of the devil, its terrifying appearance is enough to send chills down anyone's spine. The voice of the man filming can be heard in the original clip, and I must say that it's very shaky.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum.
It's so shaky that I was told that this has to be the real deal. Some members of the team, however, think that I believe things too easily and have been scrutinizing the clip ever since we received it. One even stated that the creature looks too shy to be the devil, which I agree with. Another stated that it was too rigid to not be a costume. I have my reservations about this particular comment and would hold back on sharing my thoughts. Why, you ask? Well, the answer is simple. I want to hear yours. So please do me the honors and share your thoughts with me in the comments section.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum.
You know that unsettling feeling of being watched? Well, a woman started to feel that way in a room and started to look around. As you can see from the clip, the place looks like an uncompleted and small place. After looking around, she saw what you were seeing on your screen, and yes, those are eyes. Startled, she ran out and got others to come and see what was going on. You know, usually in our clips there is where the creature disappears, but not this time. When help came, the eyes were still there staring back at them. Some suggested that an animal might have found its way into the wall through a crack, becoming trapped and peering out through a small opening. This theory, while plausible, didn't entirely dispel the uncanny feeling that something more sinister might be at play. After posting this while it was happening, she never posted an update, so we never really found out what creature was behind the wall. What do you think, though? Are we really dealing with some paranormal being, or is this something extraordinarily ordinary? You hear that, don't you? I can't be the only one hearing, "Let me in" now, can I? Let me in. A woman took to the internet to share a series of videos about some strange encounters that happened late at night at home. Her Ring camera always recorded clips like the one you just watched. It's always evident that a creature is trying to get into her house. A recent encounter came with whistling aside from the scratches and request to be let inside like you heard earlier. When asked what she thought could be responsible, she mentioned she was 100% sure it was a skinwalker. To an extent, it fits and makes sense. After all, skinwalkers are tricky creatures. They're said to shapeshift into creatures or people they come across, and to get a victim, they would lure you in with strange sounds. She believes that's exactly what's happening, but what do you guys also think? Let me in. Someone stumbled upon a bizarre creature and decided to share their find online. The creature resembled a worm but was much thicker like a caterpillar and had unusual patterns that looked like eyes. The sight of this strange being left many puzzled once it was uploaded online. So I did some research and discovered that this peculiar creature is known as the magnificent swallowtail caterpillar. This caterpillar is indeed fascinating, featuring large eye-like spots on its body that serve as a defense mechanism to scare off potential predators. There are certainly different colors, but I did manage to find one that was closest to the one on the screen, and that sold me on it. I made sure to let everyone know I'd cracked the case, only to realize I might have been mistaken. While there are swallowtail caterpillars that may share this pattern, no magnificent swallowtail caterpillar is as large as this creature. This can only mean one thing. This is either an entirely new or unknown species, or this clip is fake. What do you guys think? Next, we got a very strange and bizarre clip. A group of men were on a boat in a swamp when they saw this strange creature emerge from the murky waters. It was a humanoid that was only about a foot tall with what looked like a turtle shell on its back. They quickly got a net and snatched it out of the water. Astonished by their find, the men brought the creature in a town where it quickly became the center of attention. Covered in mud, it appeared to be a strange hybrid of a turtle and a human. As the footage spread, debates erupted. Some viewers were convinced they were witnessing a genuine discovery of an unknown species with a fascinating blend of human and reptilian traits. Others, however, were more doubtful, suggesting that the creature might be part of an elaborate hoax. A small group thought it might be a paranormal creature. What do you think? While you think about that and try to come up with answers, take a look at this next clip. Did you catch that? Watch it again. Did you? Well, even if you did, I would still have to point out the obvious, so bear with me and act surprised when I say it. There's a speedster in the clip. I know this isn't something we see outside of fiction, but how else can we explain what we're seeing? There's something or someone moving at insane speeds. It reminds me of when I'm late for work. The only difference is that I don't move that fast. Once this went viral online, some thought there was a legit being moving at high speeds, whilst others thought this was nothing more than an AI-generated clip. With the AI craze today, that wouldn't be too surprising. But do indulge me, what do you think we're looking at here? There's always someone trying to reinvent the wheel, even ones that don't need to be reinvented. Take this clip for instance. The creator of the video states that energy doesn't disappear and then goes on to cut a leaf. He shows another scene where a machine seems to be measuring energy around the leaf and still picks up the cut part of the leaf. Based on this, he concluded that energy doesn't disappear. The comment section of the original post was more or less a digital battlefield with people slaying the original poster. They mocked his scientific knowledge. One user even sarcastically stated that the law of thermodynamics states that energy can't be created or destroyed, just transferred around. And don't forget, entropy always makes things messier. Another user stated this was why taking homework seriously was a good thing. I get why everyone's teasing because this isn't real science, but what if it's something we are yet to discover? Late one night, someone stumbled upon a strange sight, a group of odd-looking creatures standing behind a fence. Though the footage isn't clear, the beings had features that ruled out the possibility of them being human. The uploader of the clip kept insisting he'd run into aliens. To authenticate his claims, he spoke about how the sight had him shaking in his boots, which he didn't have to tell us. The clip is shaky enough for us to notice this. Many challenged him and stated he was only doing this for his 5 minutes of fame, but, well, I don't know about that. The subject of aliens has become a household topic recently, and it's hard to dismiss anyone's experience. Sure, there are some who are faking it, but if the US could confirm the things they did about potential alien ships and sightings, then we should be more open to the possibility of them being around us. At least, that's what I think. What do you think? If you had the power of mind control, would you use it in court? I don't know about you, but my answer is yes, most definitely. I mean, well, why not? You see the lady in the clip and her strange eye movements, don't you? Well, she was doing this in court. Many who saw the clip are convinced she was employing some mind control mechanisms in the courtroom and controlling all present. With the exception of the cameraman, of course. I mean, we all know how powerful the cameraman is. We've tried investigating the case, but kept coming up short. There's a dearth of information on the subject, which makes me feel like the hypothesis of mind control might be true. Some also suggested it might be someone suffering from mental health issues, but the paranormal community disagrees. They are convinced the lady is controlling everyone in the courtroom. What say you? What do you see? Alien? Well, that's what the uploader said, but the paranormal community isn't buying it. Despite being of very low quality, we definitely see a humanoid creature that seems to be exploring the woods. I initially thought we're dealing with a trail cam, which might explain the low quality, but then the camera started to shake, and I realized this might have been taken on a mobile phone or camera. If that were the case, the individual filming had to have been pretty close. If this is alien, then how did he escape unscathed and unnoticed? It just doesn't add up. But what do I know? If you or someone you know is an Uber or cab driver, you might want to show this clip to them. This clip was sent in by a subscriber of the page, and it features a cab driver going about his daily business. Cool, right? Well, wrong. His problem started when he saw a woman in a purple dress. He picked her up and began driving to her location. After a few minutes, he turned around and there was no one in the car. It was just him. He hadn't stopped, he hadn't paused, and he certainly hadn't dropped her off. The only question left was, what happened? Well, no one knows, but he's convinced that it had to be a ghost. Looking at the clip, I'm tempted to say I believe him. But first, what do you guys think? Our next clip is one of the reasons why we ought to keep our windows closed at night.
Están escuchando unos lamentos, como los de la Llorona. Me paré porque mi bebé se quedó dormido en el sillón. Ven, está mi bebé. Y la ventana está abierta, pero como vivimos hacia una barranca.
A family in Mexico who lived on the hillside slept one night with their window open. After a while, the man at the home started to wake up to strange sounds. His wife would always wake up a few minutes after him, startled by the sounds.
Están escuchando unos lamentos, como los de la Llorona. Me paré porque mi bebé se quedó dormido en el sillón. Ven, está mi bebé. Y la ventana está abierta, pero como vivimos hacia una barranca.
They were very sure that the sounds they heard were that of a weeping woman. On the day this clip was recorded, they were all asleep with their son by the window's side when, as usual, the dad was woken up by the cries. This time, however, there was a more eerie and disturbing atmosphere. He began to look around, and his eyes met with a pair of glowing eyes coming from the same spot the cries were coming from. Typically, we explain glowing eyes as the reflection of the window, but today the window was open, so there was no way the glow was a reflection from the window. The man believes they were visited by La Llorona because from where the windows were and how high up the hill they were, there was no way an ordinary person would be stranded there. Other viewers also seem to believe the same, that it was La Llorona, the weeping woman. What are your thoughts?
Lamentos, como los de la Llorona. Me paré porque mi bebé se quedó dormido en el sillón. Ven, está mi bebé y la ventana está abierta, pero como vivimos hacia una barranca.
A group of friends went to the riverside at night. No one knows why they were there, but just maybe they were just out on a walk by the riverside.
Sí,
Güey,
ya se
es
metió,
que no
ya se
aparece
metió
aquí, güey.
hasta fondo, hasta la... Va,
Güey, es que
va
no sale
hasta
aquí.
mitad.
Es que no sale aquí. Vean esto.
Ok, gracias.
Ay, ya lo vi. ¿Es ese, no?
There's also the possibility of a late night swim, but I'm not so sure. To their shock, however, there was a person coming from the far depths of the water at a distance, and this person was glowing. The person was also walking in the water. The upper torso was up, and the person approached. It looked like a man in a jacket, but he was glowing, and you can see the reflection in the water. The people stood calling out to him, but as he got closer, they ran away out of fear. Some thought it was a ghost or something supernatural, while others thought it might be something explainable. What do you think this man was? A human or some sort of paranormal being? Share your thoughts in the comments section.
¿Sí, viene?
Sí.
Véngase para acá.
Para acá. No manches, nos va a dejar ahí. No.
Venga. Uy, perco.
Ay, no manches. Sí, ha de traer o algo así.
Señor, venga para acá.
Traiga algo, hermano. Háganse para acá. Traiga algo. Tráigalo en la
Güey,
mano.
que trae una
Oye,
pistola.
tráigalo en la mano. Vámonos.
Watch this and tell me what you think. Am I the only one who saw a man disappear into the ground? In the clip, the man takes a big puff of some strange smoke and then seemingly goes through the ground. The one who uploaded the clip states that the man disappeared in a different dimension, but is that even possible? Well, a large chunk of the paranormal community believes so. They think that this is a rare clip of someone visiting another dimension. There are, however, others in the community who think the whole thing is a hoax. They believe the guy did what he did for show and then dropped into the lower part of the area where he was standing. You guys have seen it too, so what do you think? There have been a lot of crazy stories of people having strange experiences, but this story just feels like a horror movie. A man by the name of Tom Kendall shared his haunting experience online. Take a look at the video.
Y'all gonna think I'm fucking crazy. I'm walking down the street, walking back from the store. There's this guy probably about 15 feet behind me. And you know how you can tell someone's walking behind you. I look back, and he's just fucking looking at me. He stops when I stop. So I walk forward a little bit, I keep walking like that. I said, this shit, man. I turn around and go, what? What's your fucking problem? I swear to God, on my mother's grave, this guy's eyes was jet fucking black. Jet black. Smiling like that, man.
Now, this is a long video, so I'm gonna try my best and summarize it. The man on your screen states that he once noticed a strange man following him. After a while of stealing glances, he noticed that the man had jet black eyes with an eerily white smile. According to the man, whose name is Tom, ever since that encounter, there have been strange things happening to him at home. One time, he saw this strange object on the ground right in front of his house, and when he opened it, it was a strange paper with these strange symbols on it. The symbols looked like something you would see in a voodoo or satanic book, and then there was a ring. The ring was his. But the weirdness didn't end there. He also experienced this. His lights would flick on and off on their own, and even on one of those days, he saw a shadow in the center of his room. The shadow was there 1 second, and then the next, it was gone. Now, the worst of it all was when one night, right across the street from his house, he saw a figure in a black hoodie just standing there. After a few seconds, he realized that it was the smiling face he'd seen the other night. If this is true, then it's serious, but what do you make of his story? A group of Bigfoot researchers were out in the woods in Washington in search of some tracks and evidence of an ape-like creature when they captured this. It was a huge creature, probably around 8 or 9 feet tall, covered in brown fur with its back to the camera. As we know, the feature of the suspected creature checks all the boxes: a domed head and human-like posture with an ape-like appearance. Let's just say the researchers left the woods smiling because they got what they wanted. Of course, not everyone is convinced. Skeptics may offer alternative explanations, suggesting the image could be a trick of the light, a misidentification, or even a cleverly implemented hoax. But for those immersed in the search for Bigfoot, this image represents a tantalizing clue, a potential piece of evidence in the ongoing quest to unravel one of nature's greatest mysteries.
Hola, me encuentro en el Pocono State Forest, en Maryland. Este es uno de los bosques.
This man visited one of the most haunted forests in Maryland to hike, and in the middle of his adventure, he came to a halt and took out his camera to record.
¿Oyeron? ¿Oyeron?
He started to hear noise from nearby, like someone or something was following him, but he didn't see anything. This forest is said to have a lot of supernatural tales whispered among locals, so something like this got a lot of people talking. Some commenters suggested the unseen follower could be a skinwalker, while others floated the chilling possibility of a Wendigo. There's not a lot of information on this one, so we can't say much. As soon as we have more information, we'll update you guys. Unless, of course, it turns out that he imagined the whole thing. Before you come at me in the comments section, know that being alone in the woods can do that to you.
¿Oyeron? ¿Oyeron?
Would you turn your room into a microwave if you could? If you answered no, let's just say you and I are on the same side. If you answered yes, then know this kid did it before you. Not sure what the motivation is, but he succeeded in turning his room into a microwave, which we can see from the little demonstration he's done. I'm pretty sure he expected to be hailed as a hero, and a large majority of the geek community did that. I, on the other hand, seem to have outgrown that phase of recklessness and just worried about his health. We all know that the tiny microwave isn't good for us, even though we never stand or sit in it. This guy, on the other hand, turned his whole room into one. I just can't imagine what it's doing to his body. Maybe that's just the pessimist in me. If he could build this, probably he found a way to protect himself from the radiation, right? Next, we got this man making some serious claims. Listen.
People need to understand space travel is impossible because all the rockets will run out of fuel within 10 minutes. All the rockets. It doesn't matter how big is the size, how many stages. A rocket engine only lasts less than 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, all the fuel will spread out. You're used up. All the rockets run out of fuel within 10 minutes. Rockets are just advanced fireworks. You see fireworks. How long fireworks last? 3 minutes? The most. Rockets, no rocket can last more than 10 minutes. It is a fact. You go search all NASA's rockets, all SpaceX rockets. Not any rocket can last more than 10 minutes.
Did you hear that? He believes that humans have not been able to travel to space because rockets cannot leave Earth. This challenges what we've always known about going to space. If he's right, it could change everything we know about space exploration.
Lies, all scientific fiction. Impossible. There is no low Earth orbit. You see, everything orbit the sun is so far away.
Many have held on to these views for years. In fact, there is a subset of scientists who also believe all the space expeditions have been nothing but false. If that's the case, then the government has been lying to us for decades and we are really grounded on this planet. But the government won't lie to us, right?
Cannot reach, go straight up, cannot reach over 100 miles. You go search, you go ask ChatGPT, how high can the best rocket go straight up? The SpaceX two-stage rocket can reach 92 miles. That's it. How can SpaceX send a satellite into space 550 kilometers away above Earth?
Somewhere in India, someone captured this bizarre situation. There on a field was a strange-looking object made of fire. What makes the situation even more peculiar is the presence of a being, pure white, walking away from the fiery object and eventually shooting up into the sky. Now, the armchair UFOlogists and paranormal enthusiasts are in full swing. Could it be an angel, a celestial being making a pit stop in the earthly realm, or are we looking at an intergalactic tourist who decided to make a fiery entrance before taking off again? The skeptics might be rolling their eyes, whispering about elaborate hoaxes or perhaps an unattended bonfire gone rogue. But the believers are already weaving tales of divine visitations and extraterrestrial encounters. Our discoverer, who also doubles as a farmer, stumbled upon a creature with a striking resemblance to the legendary chupacabra. The creature barely had any hair on its skin and looked a little strange and perhaps sickly. While many would have thought that they were dealing with a canine suffering from mange, our discoverer insists that this was a chupacabra. According to him, he'd noticed other things which made him sure it could be a chupacabra. For one, his chickens had been mysteriously disappearing in a way that was reminiscent of the work of the chupacabra. We're not exactly sure if he was finding the chickens with their blood drained. If he was, it could entertain the possibility of a chupacabra. Other than that, my team and I believe he may have simply encountered a canine suffering from mange. The disappearance of his chicken could also be associated with the same creature we're seeing, or coyotes and other predators that may live around him. What do you guys think, though? Is that really a chupacabra, or is the farmer simply seeing things that are not there? Share your thoughts in the comment section. In the middle of the night, a young man stumbled upon a peculiar object hovering above the ground. Upon closer inspection, he noticed that it appeared to be a ring-shaped formation made up of several small orbs. The strange object was swaying back and forth in a rhythm that seemed to defy any logical explanation. While some might argue that it was nothing more than a group of balloons, the time of night made this explanation seem unlikely. As a result, some began to speculate that the object was actually a ghostly apparition or some sort of otherworldly entity. I mean, I want to believe it, but you know that Harry Potter spell? Ridiculous. That's what comes to mind. What do you think it is? Kindly hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Doing so lets you stay updated and allows us to create more videos for you. Thanks for doing so. Now let's continue with the day's episode. This was captured in the United States. The exact location is unknown. It was taken by a late-night beachgoer who had sneaked onto the beach to take a swim. While on the beach, the individual noticed this pale creature that was crawling on its hands and feet. The creature was waddling along the shoreline with calculated steps, moving in a manner that was both eerie and unsettling. Thankfully, the person who captured the footage was able to find a hiding spot and remain unnoticed by the creature. Despite this, the creature's appearance and behavior have left many people wondering what it could be. Some speculate that it may be a bloodthirsty monster, while others believe it could be a rake. Until more information is available, it's impossible to say for sure what the creature is or what its intentions might be. Personally, I have doubts about its authenticity, but I wouldn't want to be that guy, so let's move on.
I'm getting a video. There's this huge thing making a re-entry right now.
In this next clip, a man on the road becomes an unwitting witness to a mesmerizing event, a mysterious ball of light gracefully gliding through the sky, leaving behind a radiant trace. It almost seems as if the object is signing the heavens with its luminosity.
Huge fireball up in the sky. That's actually sick.
One question lingers. Was this celestial phenomenon a mere meteor in its fleeting brilliance, or could we be looking at extraterrestrial visitors camouflaged in such a manner so they would appear unsuspecting? It's hard to say, really. On one hand, I see a meteor. On the other, I know how far our extraterrestrial neighbors will go to keep their presence a myth. So what do you guys think is happening here? Share your thoughts with us. How would you react if you casually saw military men in your city casually shooting blanks in the name of a drill? Well, for the inhabitants of Riga, this was no hypothetical question. It's actually happened. It turns out that this is a usual thing in Latvia, and people are informed way before time. That's why everyone is moving around casually as if nothing's happening. I know many who saw this when it first hit the internet were worried, but personally, I want to visit Latvia just to experience this. Who knows, I might even join the army. What do you think? Antarctica has been the center of many conspiracy theories, ranging from it being the hollow Earth's center to aliens living there and more. However, no concrete evidence has ever been provided to support or debunk these claims. Recently, this image surfaced, allegedly from Antarctica, showcasing a hidden ancient city concealed beneath the icy walls. The settlement's impressive architecture has grabbed the attention of many, but the question remains, is this true? After conducting some research, we discovered that the image was just a painting and not a real photograph. Here we have another situation that is considered a glitch in the Matrix. A man came home from work, and as he entered his room, he noticed a tissue paper that was hanging mid-air in the corner. The tissue paper appears to be suspended mid-air without any visible means of support. But not just that, it was also frozen in time, which was quite perplexing. He searched the surrounding area for any evidence of strings or wires, but there was none. The tissue paper seemed to be hanging there on its own accord. One of the commentators on the original post was not amused. He believed the room had cobwebs. Julius thinks it's a hoax, and Aaron thinks demonic beings are playing tricks on him. What do you think? After an explosion was heard, this strange light was seen in the sky. It's bright orange and moved downward, vanishing into the night sky.
Oh, look! What is that?
Some say it's a flare gun, probably shot from the vicinity of the explosion as a distress signal. It's a common enough scenario and makes sense, right? Well, not everyone shares the sentiment, and many believe there's more to the situation than meets the eye. As the camera shakes, some keen observers point out the fact that the streetlight and the mysterious skylight share a suspiciously similar shimmy, and this naturally leads to some skepticism. Could the whole thing be the result of CGI? Many seem to think so. Believers in the paranormal, however, insist that there's something ominous happening in the footage. Personally, I don't see it, and Julius, my new assistant whose judgment I trust, doesn't see anything. Even Aaron, the believer of all things paranormal, thinks something might be trying to pull a fast one on us. What do you think?
What is that?
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god. Something exploded. What is that?
Venturing into the icy wilderness of Russia, someone stumbled upon a truly heart-wrenching scene. 3 mountain goats frozen in time, their bodies overtaken by the relentless cold. It's a harsh reality, especially when you consider that temperatures can plummet to a bone-chilling 58 degrees below average near Oymyakon. This remote region is sparsely populated with just 500 to 900 residents as of 2018. It's known for its unforgiving cold, and it's the kind of place that doesn't easily welcome human settlement. And I guess we know now why. Now back to the mountain goats. In their quest for solace from the biting cold, these tenacious beings unwittingly encountered a fate as frigid as the icy winds that surrounded them. A poignant reminder of the brutal, harsh, and sometimes unforgiving nature of life in these harsh, icy landscapes. Well, either that or this is just very good taxidermy. The phenomenon of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, has been a topic of intrigue and speculation for many years. While most reports describe saucer-shaped objects, there are instances where the shapes of UFOs have been particularly unusual. This footage captures one such instant where an oddly shaped UFO was caught on camera. Interestingly, this type of UFO has been documented in the past, with reports dating as far back as 1561, when it was sighted in Nuremberg. The object is described as being shaped like an upside-down cursor, which is a unique and rather unexpected shape for a UFO. There is even a pamphlet from years ago that is a drawing of the said UFO, adding to the mystery surrounding it. What's your take on this? As we all know, technology has advanced far beyond our wildest imaginations. Tesla's work with robots is an excellent example of this. However, what caught my attention recently was something even more fascinating. A piece of footage that we discovered. It shows a person holding what appears to be a fly in their hand, but on closer examination, it becomes clear that this insect is not a natural one. It appears to be made entirely of metal and has a head that doesn't resemble that of a regular insect. There were some in the paranormal community, however, who thought it looked like a cicada or a jarfly. I looked them up and I get where they're coming from, but this isn't it. This discovery raises many questions that I find intriguing. For instance, who made this metal fly, and for what purpose? Are there other animals or insects in the wild that are not real, like this one? If so, what implications does this have for our understanding of the natural world? Now, let's take a look at another puzzle. In Japan, a mysterious sighting unfolded as a cloud resembling a donut appeared in the sky. The cloud seems to be very white and has a slight glow to it. According to reports, this appeared in the sky right before they had a 7.6 earthquake. While it's very strange, there are some talks that this same type of cloud appeared in Turkey as well just before another earthquake. In some cultures, unusual natural occurrences are often interpreted as signs or messages from the divine. This suggests these clouds could be premonitions or warnings of impending danger. But some skeptics think it's just a blue beam projection, a technology that could potentially create optical illusions in the sky. The paranormal community, however, are convinced that what we are looking at is a portal to another world or universe. Which theory among these three do you agree with? A cosmic warning, a technological illusion, or a glimpse into another dimension? In a time where mysterious sightings continue to proliferate, another enigma unfolds in our night skies. There was a luminous object spotted in the sky one night. It had this rectangular shape, but looked like the moon. It's hard to make it out because it's hidden in the sky, but as it moves, you can see it. While the term UFO simply denotes an unidentified flying object, it doesn't necessarily imply one of extraterrestrial origin. There could be various explanations, ranging from atmospheric phenomena to human-made objects or, in some cases, natural celestial bodies. While I have my theories on what this might be, I'd like to hear yours. What do you think we could be dealing with here? A woman was going about her daily routine when she noticed something on the floor of her room. As she got closer, she realized it was a strange-looking creature that resembled a worm. The woman was unsure about the identity of the creature, so she posted this footage seeking help. Some suggested that it could be a rugworm or some other type of worm, but without a closer examination, it's hard to tell. The question that arises is how this creature ended up in her room. Did it crawl in through an open window or door, or was it brought in on someone's clothing? I'd let you guys decide on this one. During an expedition in the dense rainforests of Brazil, a curious explorer stumbled upon a set of mysterious bones. Upon closer inspection, it was discovered that the bones were of an unusual shape and didn't resemble any known human bones. This naturally created a buzz even amongst those in the scientific community, with some speculating that they could be the remains of an extraterrestrial creature. A number of them, after examining the bones, thought it had to be fake. Simply put, the authenticity of the footage has been a topic of debate with mixed hypotheses. If proven to be authentic, this discovery could provide some of the strongest evidence yet that aliens exist amongst us. Having seen it with your own eyes, what do you think? This next clip was recorded back in 2018 when a man went camping in the woods of Oregon, alone.
Shoots, Oregon. Well, close to Bend, Oregon.
He did his best to film everything, but little did he know those short clips he filmed would be documentations of the last moments of his life. As he settled in at nighttime, he heard noises outside his tent. It sounded like rocks being moved about. But how?
Sounds right outside the tent. There's someone right outside the tent.
Perplexed, he shouted for whatever or whoever it was to leave, but the noise continued.
Leave me alone!
Based on the footage, one can even state that his shouting might have attracted the intruder because it came towards his tent and attempted to get in, but the camper saw it and ran out. After he was sure he'd lost it, he settled down and started looking around. Perhaps he wanted to make sure that whatever it was had really gone. But then, out of nowhere, a tall, pale creature came toward him, and that's where the footage ends. The man was never seen again, and the only evidence of the incident is this footage. Did you catch a glimpse of what appeared to him, though? It looked gray and alien. What do you think happened to him?
This motherfucker just fell from the sky.
A man was apparently out on a job when this object fell from the sky. The said object had smoke coming from it, and it made a hole in the ground where it fell. He shared his discovery with the online community, hoping for some praise and answers, but all he was met with was skepticism and disdain. Many who saw the object are calling it a hoax and arguing that the object looks a bit too man-made for comfort. It seems like the line between reality and attention-seeking fiction is getting blurrier by the day. In cases like these, critical examination by professionals can help distinguish between genuine astronomical phenomena and instances that may involve human-made objects or deliberate attempts to garner attention. Looking at this, though, I give my votes to those calling it a hoax. What about you? What do you think this could be? Apparently a lot, but this is not one of them. It's what we call a leopard seal, not a mystical creature this time. Leopard seals are strong predators known for their sleek, spotted look and great hunting skills. They live in the cold waters around Antarctica and nearby areas where they're top hunters. Their bodies are shaped like torpedoes, and they have powerful jaws with sharp teeth, making them perfect for life in icy seas. They mostly eat fish, squid, and krill, but they also hunt penguins and other seals. Someone sent us this footage claiming it was the Loch Ness Monster, but come on. I didn't need to go to Julius to know this wasn't one. What do you guys think? As the rain poured down, someone decided to capture the event on their camera. Turns out they did the right thing because suddenly, out of nowhere, a bolt of lightning struck the ground, accompanied by a deafening roar of thunder. Out of the lightning flash emerged a floating, glowing entity. The entity appeared to be hovering mid-air and appeared to be surrounded by an ethereal glow. The person filming was so spooked that they quickly retreated to the safety of their home. The question that remains is, what exactly was that mysterious entity? Was it an angel or some sort of interdimensional being that arrived through a portal created by the lightning strike?
I don't know, but you tell me what you think that is. It looks like something out of an arcade game.
In this recent and intriguing footage, a peculiar light was observed moving in circular patterns in the night sky. The unusual movement raised questions about the light's origin and nature, as stars typically don't exhibit such behavior. Skeptics, ever watchful, cast doubt upon the authenticity of this celestial waltz, proposing the involvement of CGI in crafting such enchantment. Yet others lean toward the possibility of something more enigmatic. Could it be a celestial phenomenon, a dance of light refracted through the Earth's atmospheric layers? Alternatively, does it signal a visitation from realms unknown or just someone having a little fun with a flashlight? So riddle me this. I've always wanted to say that.
But listen carefully.
What gently hums in the country air, a hidden melody beyond compare, neither seen nor known. In fields it hides a mystical sound that softly abides. The answer to this riddle is the answer to what's responsible for the hum. If you know it, tell us in the comments section. Start your answer with the word riddle so we can easily identify it. We may have something nice for the person with the right answer. During his cave exploration, the man spotted a peculiar fossil that caught his attention. As he moved closer, he realized that it was a saucer-shaped object stuck in a massive rock. After conducting a thorough examination, the experts confirmed that the fossil was, in fact, a UFO that had been buried for over 5 million years. The discovery of this ancient UFO has sparked a lot of interest and curiosity amongst scientists and the public alike. At least, that's what the individual who sent this clip in said. I've combed online resources and I can't seem to find any credible information. Also, this UFO is rather too small unless the aliens are tiny little buggers. But what do you guys think? Angels have long been revered as divine beings, known for their luminous appearance and wings. Recently, intriguing footage has surfaced showing a collection of glowing objects in the night sky. The objects were not like the famous glowing orbs that have been spotted in the past. They were a mass of oddly shaped things moving slowly in a captivating manner. The footage has left people wondering if these creatures were truly angels. The video raises many questions. Were these objects divine beings checking in on us, or were they something else entirely? What are your thoughts? This next one is a compilation of deer exhibiting strange behaviors. They even, dare I say, look possessed. You can see the animals rolling on the ground, some moving in circles and some aimlessly running about. As much as some would like to classify this as paranormal, it's not. Yes, I did say they looked possessed, but with a little research, you'd realize that these animals are actually suffering. The cause behind these distressing actions is not of supernatural origin, rather it points towards a tragic and real condition known as chronic wasting disease. This malady affects various deer species, causing neurological degeneration, behavioral abnormalities, and eventually death. It's a devastating condition, and the footage serves as a poignant reminder of the challenges that wildlife faces, including disease that can impact their populations. While the scenes are unsettling, understanding the natural causes behind such behavior allows us to address these issues with empathy and work toward the conservation and well-being of our fellow inhabitants on this planet. If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us to make more videos like these ones for you. Thank you so much. Now, back to today's episode. In this next clip, we encounter a seemingly supernatural phenomenon, an ordinary roll of toilet paper suspended in mid-air, frozen in time. No need for supernatural explanations here. This peculiar phenomenon is a masterpiece crafted by none other than humans and the cold. All it took was a dry toilet paper and a splash of water left exposed to the bone-chilling elements. The result, a mid-air spectacle, a frozen masterpiece. It shows weather conditions are getting worse by the day. Hot places are cranking up the heat, and cold places are turning into icy wonderlands. This sure serves as a chilly reminder of the changing climate. Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes. If you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a Bigfoot after you, now would you? A truck driver went to work one morning just like every other time to go about his usual routine. But guess his surprise when he went to his truck and opened the door. The wheels of the truck were moving violently and the gear moving up and down. The truck was not moving or even ignited, so what in the world could be going on here? It's like the truck's got a mind of its own. But last time I checked, trucks don't come equipped with brains, right? I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure trucks don't do this. So what's the deal here? Is it some kind of auto-gymnastic routine, or maybe the ghost of a truck's past owner taking the wheel for a spin? I guess we may never know. A group of men found this strange-looking creature that looked like a snake with 4 limbs. Critically inspecting it, one can tell that it's indeed very strange and unlike any reptile we've ever seen. It's what someone would describe as a hybrid of a snake and a lizard. Its long neck is crooked, but unlike your typical snake, this thing doesn't go all out with the tongue action. It keeps it classy, tongue firmly in its mouth. You can't really tell if this creature is legit chill and just vibing with the guys. It could also be scared out of its wits because, well, let's be real, imagine being discovered by a bunch of dudes. You could be giving them the side eye too, right? Have you ever seen chickens play the freeze game? If you haven't, boy, are you in luck. Enjoy.
Oh, goodness. Where y'all going? Where are you going? You ready for some grubs? Let's go!
A man owning a poultry farm walked into his birds standing still for what looked like 4 to 5 minutes. Perplexed, he recorded the whole thing and posted it online. How is this even possible? The truth is, it shouldn't be, and the thought of it is just bizarre. Jesters who saw the whole thing told him his birds were probably playing the freeze game. You know, that game where you stand still after the music stops. While that's something fun to think about, our paranormal enthusiasts think the whole thing is a glitch in the Matrix. What do you guys also think? Next, we visit the coast of Point Dume, California, where there's apparently an underwater structure that has sparked speculation and fueled many conspiracy theories. It was reportedly discovered in 2014, yet attempts to venture in it have been thwarted by challenges created by its geographical location, which include but are not limited to strong currents, along with potential risks of decompression illness due to its depth in the water. So what are some of the theories circulating about the structure? Some of these theories include the fact that it's an alien base being converted to a government facility, among others. While Aaron and I love wild theories, even we have a lot of questions. For starters, if the government is trying to convert an alien base into one of its facilities, why would its images be accessible to anyone using Google Earth? Don't get me wrong, we're always open to these possibilities, but the facts just don't add up. Can any one of you who lives there confirm this for us? Would really appreciate it. Next, we have footage from a hiker in Utah who spotted a bizarre-looking creature walking through the woods. From the footage, we can tell that the creature had dark fur and stood about 7 feet tall. Unlike a Sasquatch, the creature had long arms that it used to move, reminiscent of a gorilla. If you pay attention, you'll hear something odd when it moves. Sounds like metal, does it not? That's had me becoming skeptical about the whole thing. Why would a Sasquatch's footsteps sound metallic? It doesn't add up now, does it? We did the research and found out that there are times when hunters will wear a ghillie suit and move on stilts. Looking at the footage, I'm convinced that that's what we may be dealing with. What do you think? Just decided to take a breather in the woods and just have some fun. But imagine the terror of the woman when she spotted a huge creature among the trees. The creature had dark fur and bulging muscled arms. It was stalking the woman and her kids. The frightened woman called out for her kids to get inside. The creature, when it realized that it had been spotted, dashed off. It looked like a Bigfoot, but its head had this peculiar look that did not tally with our image of a Bigfoot. Its arms were also abnormally large and muscular. Yes, Bigfoot has large arms, but not like that. So what's the deal here? Is this Bigfoot's gym buddy or just another creature adding a dash of mystery to the woods? Not knowing what she was dealing with, this mom was not taking any chances as she made everyone move back into the vehicle. I'm no prophet, but I can bet that she and her kids won't be making plans for a woodland picnic anytime soon. A tragic incident occurred in El Salvador when a car drove off a bridge. This tragic incident, however, led to a rather shocking discovery. A few moments after this happened, a truck passed by the scene with the camera capturing an eerie sight. A cloaked dark figure atop the vehicle, resembling the Grim Reaper. Given what had just happened some moments ago, this was not too shocking. The Reaper had come to collect the soul of the unfortunate accident victim. Now, logic often challenges us to find rational explanations for such occurrences. Some might argue that it's a trick of light and shadow, or perhaps an oddly shaped object on top of the truck. However, the symbolism of a figure resembling the Grim Reaper in the aftermath of a fatal accident is undeniably too much of a coincidence. Whether one believes in the supernatural or not, these moments can evoke a sense of awe and make us ponder the mysteries of life and death. But then again, we can't help but wonder if we just saw a Grim Reaper on the job. In an unexpected turn of events, a trail camera owner retrieved his device from the woods, hoping to find footage of wild animals, but was met with a truly shocking discovery. Staring directly at the camera was a deer, yet far from ordinary. Its antlers and eyes glowed in a haunting shade of orange, imparting an eerie and almost supernatural aura. Looks like the creature just crawled out of the pits of hell. What could this be? Conspiracy theorists and supernatural enthusiasts are having a field day with this one. Theories are flying left and right, with some suggesting it's a spirit animal, others a deer with some otherworldly energy, and another subsect stating that perhaps it's a forest guardian keeping an eye on the Trailcam owner. While these theories are wild, there are those on the flip side questioning if this is a case of post-production wizardry. Perhaps someone got creative with editing software, turning a regular deer into a luminescent woodland mystery. Logically speaking, I know the last one is the easiest to believe among all the listed factors, but I also want to believe we're dealing with the supernatural. What do you guys think? While at a lake, a group of kids came across a huge fish lying lifeless in the water. While I don't understand why the little boy is in the water with it, one can't help but think that lifeless creature does look like a shark with razor-sharp teeth. It is hard to identify the exact kind of fish it is because its skin appears to have already started decomposing. It is too small to be a whale and too big to be a dolphin. So what could this be? Share your thoughts. A hiker on the Colorado mountains spotted what he believed to be a Sasquatch back in 2009. The creature was hiding behind some rocks looking at the hikers. It had brown fur. For those who don't know, these parts are like the hot spots for Bigfoot sightings. The sightings are so often that it's almost like a rite of passage to spot one there. Once the hiker in question noticed the creature, the brave soul decided to go back and investigate the spot. He wanted to make sure he had really seen what he had seen. What does he find when he goes back? No Bigfoot, no, just a pile of straw. Was Bigfoot camping there, or did it put the straw there to mislead the hiker? Share your thoughts. A couple buys a 1960s home thinking they've hit the vintage jackpot, only to uncover Pandora's box of strange artifacts left by the previous owners. Among many of the things they found was a suitcase they decided to open and check. When they opened it, they were shocked to find another smaller replica of the suitcase inside. Apart from that, they found a pencil, an eraser, and candy. Nothing out of the ordinary, but guess what they saw when they opened the smaller one? There was a doll strapped into the suitcase. Now, I don't know about you, but this looks like the scene from a horror movie where people tamper with cursed items, and then all hell breaks loose. The couple was very creeped out by this. I mean, who straps a doll into a suitcase and then puts the suitcase into another suitcase, if the thing is not possessed? I think they should move out of the house, and if you were in such a situation, would you have opened the suitcase? The connection between animals and the spirit world has long been a subject of fascination, with many believing that animals possess an innate sensitivity to the unseen. In a piece of intriguing security cam footage, this idea comes to life as a dark, man-like mass appears in the middle of the street, engaging with a group of stray dogs. The dogs, seemingly aware of the entity's presence, focus their attention on the mysterious figure. The entity bends down, placing something on the ground. Ghostly treats, perhaps. While some may be quick to attribute the footage to skilled editing, others entertain the notion that it captures a genuine interaction between the ethereal and the animal kingdom. Having watched the clip yourself, what do you think is going on here? Are there horned men in existence? Well, if you answered no, our next footage might surprise you. Take a look. Imagine a well-built guy rocking what looks like a legit horn sticking out of his noggin, all while donning a snazzy skirt made of dried leaves. Talk about a fashion statement. See what I did there? I sounded young and hip. Kudos to myself. Now, you're probably thinking, wait, can humans even grow horns? That's a valid question by all standards. Sadly, it's one of varied and contradicting responses. I mean, well, it's not natural, but that doesn't make it impossible. We literally have a man on our screens who appears to have. Maybe this guy is a different species altogether, or perhaps Mother Nature decided to spice things up and give him an upgrade. As much as I want to roll out the wild theories, there's also the possibility that it might be a cultural thing. Some places around the globe are known for unique body modifications. Perhaps this is a modification that's done among his people. But since we cannot verify that, we're left to speculate and theorize. What's your theory? Ah, the classic mysterious lights in the night sky scenario. You gotta love those. So a Facebook user spots this curious sight. Not one, not two, but 4 enigmatic lights just doing their thing in the night sky. It's like someone threw a handful of glow sticks into the night sky and called it a day. They look like they belong to some kind of spacecraft. It also looked like all 4 lights did not belong to one craft, but 4 separate crafts. Who could they belong to, though? Alien visitors? Is the military practicing some secret maneuvers, or maybe just some unusually coordinated sky lanterns having a night out? It's hard to say, but you're allowed an opinion. What do you think? Next, we have this clip from the Philippines, where citizens are seen collecting hundreds of fish. What makes this unusual isn't the number of fish being collected. No, it's the fact that these fishes are willingly coming themselves. Now, the skeptics might be rubbing their eyes, wondering if this is some kind of fishy prank or a well-coordinated community event. The truth is, no one knows how or why this is happening. Could it be a covert operation by the marine world to share their bounty with land dwellers, or perhaps a case of underwater Uber Eats gone rogue? The curious onlookers seem content, treating it like an unexpected gift from Poseidon himself. But the question remains, what's causing this underwater migration to the shore? Could it be a volcanic eruption stirring up the aquatic residents, or is it a supernatural intervention by the oceanic deities to provide for their people? Share your thoughts.
Ryan! Oh my God, Ryan!
2 New Yorkers seeking refuge from a snowstorm in the balmy confines of Fort Lauderdale found themselves face to face with a phenomenon they likely hadn't expected: a tornado. Witnessing their first tornado, they trained their gaze on the awe-inspiring spectacle unfolding before them. The tornado, a force of nature with its agenda, danced unpredictably from place to place, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. As you watch the footage, you can see the tornado's power as it effortlessly lifts objects into the air and transforms the serene waters below into a chaotic battleground. Hopefully, no one got hurt, but it's safe to say that these individuals were mighty glad they were nowhere near it. We're back in British Columbia again. This footage was sent in by a man who went fishing only to come across some tracks around a riverside. The soft soil on the ground had molded on it 3 perfect tracks. There were several of the footprints around, which were much bigger than his size 10 feet. The prints were about 15 or more inches and were pretty deep in the ground. Now, this fisherman's no stranger to these prints. He's been spotting them regularly and believes that Bigfoot lives around there. Now that you've seen them yourself, what do you think? This footage has been circulating the internet for quite a while now, but every time I watch it, it just gives me anxiety. In the footage, we have a group of daredevils living life on the edge, deciding to turn the famous Monticello Dam into their own personal swimming pool. These guys are having a grand old time, frolicking in the water. Like they're on vacation when one guy takes a not-so-graceful slip and down he goes into the glory hole. Now, the glory hole is not there for a casual dip. It's to control the water released to and from the dam. I don't know why these guys decided to take a bath there because it's very dangerous. maybe next time they'll stick to safer waters like a regular pool or, anywhere that's not a dam with a name like Glory Hole. This is the ancient Kal Barev Temple. For all of you who are unfamiliar with it, the ancient Kal Barev Temple holds reverence as a sacred site dedicated to Kal Barev, a formidable manifestation of the Hindu deity Lord Shiva. Depicted as a fierce figure with dark skin carrying a skull, Kal Barev is venerated as the ruler of time and death in Hindu mythology. Devotees believe in his role as a protector, and worshippers seek his blessings through devoted prayers and rituals at this revered temple. However, during this tour through the temple, this person filmed something eerie. Behind the statue at the entrance of the temple, a dark entity pokes its head out. Before you jump up and scream, "It's a shadow," you should know that that's not how shadows behave. Also, the space behind this statue is too small for a person to fit in without being spotted. So, what exactly was that dark figure? Is it a manifestation of one of the gods, a demon, or is this whole thing a complete hoax? Share your thoughts in the comments section.
Cows found mutilated, some of them cut with precision and their bodies seemingly untouched with no bloodshed.
If you thought that was weird, you might want to strap up for a mystery that's as baffling as it is unsettling. This farmer woke up to find his cows victims to mutilation. For decades, this eerie phenomenon has left farmers scratching their heads, and in this recent clip, the livestock meet their demise in a strangely precise manner. They were found on their sides with faces cut along the jawline and tongues removed. Weirdly, two of the cows sport circular cuts, taking away the anus and external genitalia. What makes this scene even more perplexing is the lack of blood, as if the whole operation was carried out with surgical precision by an otherworldly force. The farmer, leaning toward the extraterrestrial side of the spectrum, believes that aliens might be harvesting animal parts. The big question remains, for what purpose? With many varying opinions, there is not one clear answer for this. If we were to ask you, though, what would you say is happening? Extraterrestrial experimentation, secret government projects, or perhaps a well-coordinated prank that has spanned decades? Share your thoughts with us. Back in 2022, this image was circulating on the internet from the US. With little info on where the image came from, determining what this creature is has been nothing but a hustle. In the picture, we can see a dark-furred creature walking in a river. The creature was roughly about 7 feet tall and bipedal. Experts who came across the photo have examined it thoroughly and have tried to come up with a logical explanation as to what this is. But as far as we can see, this clearly looks like a Bigfoot. No bear or monkey has a posture like this. If you think otherwise, share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Next, we visit the mountains of Romania. This is one of those unaware clips where the individual in question captures something without knowing it till he's home. Enjoy. This is the image he captured. If you look closely behind the pile of twigs, you'll notice a creature with a striking primate resemblance. You don't need to zoom in to have an image of Bigfoot take over your imagination. As intriguing as the capture is, we've got to ask, why was Bigfoot there? Was he stalking the man? Did they accidentally cross paths? Or did it have something sinister planned? Either way, you have to agree that the man is quite fortunate that despite being so close in proximity to the creature, nothing funny or remotely dangerous happened to him, even if Bigfoots don't have a reputation for being violent. A resident was inside their home when they heard some commotion from the neighbor's house. They went to investigate and found this strange scene. They saw a pair of animal-like legs with an upper torso being chased by a dog. The resident quickly started recording what they saw on their mobile phone. As the entity moved behind a trash can, it suddenly vanished. What in the world could this be? Was it an alien creature, a supernatural entity, or something else altogether? While some speculated that it could be the result of good CGI, the residents insist that what they had filmed was real. What do you think? At first glance, this footage looks like a capture of the sky with a beautiful shade of blue. However, if you examine the footage more closely, you will see that there is something else there too, a strange entity that comes and goes. This entity moves in a back and forth motion, appearing and disappearing at seemingly random intervals. While it might resemble a cloud, it moves too quickly to be one. Could this be some sort of ghostly apparition? It's hard to say for sure, but it's certainly a possibility worth considering, don't you think? While on a family stroll, a man and his family discover something interesting. It's a peculiar rock structure that's shut tighter than a treasure chest should be. He suspects it could be a secret government facility or one that leads to aliens. Now, I'm not one to jump to conclusions, but this is giving strange, weird, and suspicious vibes. It's like the beach's version of Fort Knox, but made of rocks. The big question is, what on earth could be tucked away inside? That, I guess, we'd never find out.
To the ground again. What if this is a freaking government secret door or there's aliens behind it? I don't know, you tell me. Bye.
Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. Take a look at this extraordinary sight, a cat with two tails. While I know this can occur due to a birth defect, I can't help but feel intrigued. You will also notice that this cat doesn't cast a shadow. It's perplexing considering the amount of light present in the surrounding area. The ground beneath the cat remains devoid of any shadow. I find this to be highly unusual, and it's only added to my growing suspicion that something is not quite right. With all the strange happenings in the world lately, it's hard not to wonder if there may be more to this than meets the eye. I mean, Julia suspects it might be a hoax, but could this be a glitch in the Matrix or some other unexplainable phenomenon at play? Share your thoughts in the comment section. There have been many instances of videos circulating online that claim to show evidence of alien life, but some appear to be fake. One such video is this strange creature supposedly spotted in the clouds. The creature is a huge entity with tentacles. The person who shared the footage believes that it's an alien. However, something seems off here. The said alien is darker than its surroundings, which is a telltale sign that the footage has been created using computer-generated imagery. The creature is clearly out of place in its environment. This footage was recorded by a man who was woken up by strange screams in the middle of the night. Now, most of us would probably hide under the covers and call for help. The most we may do is grab a flashlight, but not this guy. Oh no, he went out to see what it was, and this is what he found. Hanging from the tree is this ghostly figure disturbing the whole neighborhood. The first thing that came to my mind was a ghost, but why the screaming though? Is it an evil spirit having a midnight meltdown on the tree branches, or did someone lose their way during a creepy costume party? I mean, who hangs out on a tree in the middle of the night? The footage abruptly ends there, so we don't know if the man went further to investigate or if he just retired to bed. What do you think that thing is, though? Any experience? Now that's a deer party you don't see every day. So you wake up one fine morning, stroll into your garage, and boom, you've got an audience of about 30 or more deer just chilling and giving you the deer in the headlights look. Talk about an overwhelming wake-up call. I mean, where did they all come from, and why are they just hanging out in the garage and staring at the guy like they own the place? And get this, the guy's not bothered in the slightest and just goes out to feed them. Is he running a deer spa in his garage, or does he just throw some snacks out regularly? Maybe they've got a deal. Who knows? NASA launched a rover to Mars to explore the planet's surface. According to the one who uploaded this clip, during the mission, the rover stumbled upon an unexpected discovery: a finger. It's, however, unclear who it belongs to. According to him, further analysis is yet to be carried out to determine its origin and to understand how it ended up on the planet. There's a possibility that it could belong to extraterrestrial life, or it could have belonged to a human who previously visited the planet. As much as I want to believe this is true, everything about it screams hoax and false. I mean, if NASA discovered something like this, it would be big news, unless, of course, they're in cahoots with the aliens. What do you guys think? In this amazing video, we don't see a ghost, but something even more incredible: a majestic creature with bat-like wings and horns on its head, soaring through the sky. This isn't just a bird, it's like a creature from a legend, a dragon in all its breathtaking glory. Seeing such a mythical creature makes us question the world and what we know. How could something like this exist outside of stories and old tales? Is this real footage or perhaps a hoax? I mean, if we can make insects, this should be a cup of tea, right? But even so, I can't help but wonder, from ghosts to legendary monsters, I wonder what else there is to see. Next, we visit the borders of the Kentucky Islands for some strange and quite frankly spooky vocalizations. Imagine hearing this while chilling in your cozy island abode or sipping sweet tea or whatever islanders do. There's no way you'd recover from it. I don't know about you, but they sound like howls and barks combined that are echoing throughout the woodlands. We did some further analysis on the audio and realized that they don't sound like any animal we know. The vocalizations, however, hint at a very large creature. Given the fact that the area is known to have Bigfoot sightings, we don't have to go too far to guess what we could be dealing with, do we? A hiker came across this strange structure in the middle of the woods. It was a cave made out of branches that had been carefully put together. Who or what could have made this cave in the middle of the woods? Some skeptics are leaning toward the idea that this might just be a hunter's hideout, but the true paranormal enthusiasts are throwing their bets on it being a Bigfoot cave, because, you know, nothing says Bigfoot was here like a carefully crafted branch cave. What do you think is the truth behind the structure? Is it just some DIY project by an over-enthusiastic camper, or did Bigfoot pull a grand design move in the heart of the forest? This person was captured from afar in the wilderness. Although not very clear, you can make out the silhouette of a slender person. The person appears to be wearing a robe with an oddly shaped head protruding from their body. The ears were sticking out, resembling the iconic ears of Yoda from Star Wars. What creature could we be looking at? Some might see it as a rare encounter with something beyond our understanding. Others might think it's just our brains playing tricks on us, showing us things that aren't there. What about you? What do you think? On a tranquil day, a strange event occurred on a rice farm located in Indonesia. A metallic ball suddenly fell from the sky, startling the residents in the vicinity. The ball appeared to be very unusual, and people quickly left their homes to witness the unexpected event. As they arrived at the farm, they saw the ball lying on the ground, and everyone seemed confused and surprised at this strange situation. The ball had a metallic look, and its surface was smooth with no markings or writings on it. The nature of this ball and the reason for its fall remain unknown. Some people suggested that it could be debris from space or even extraterrestrial in origin. However, there was no way to confirm this theory yet. Fortunately, no one was harmed during the incident, and the authorities were informed to investigate the matter further. This person was driving on the road in the middle of the night when he came across this in the sky. You see it, don't you? A strange person floating in the sky. Is it human, though? I mean, it's hard to tell since whatever it is has a robe on. I have my theories on what this might be, but looking at it, what do you see? Tell us in the comments section. Have you ever seen a sewer cover dance? If you answered no, then boy, are you in luck. Enjoy. This footage was captured by a man who noticed a sewer cover dancing. It's not a waltz or anything remotely close, but how else do you describe this? There was no one around, no indication of a rope attached to it, which makes the whole thing strange. The man decided to film it, but I'm starting to believe that there are some invisible and invincible entities messing with us humans for entertainment. What do you think? A team of men were busy working on a property when they chanced upon a mysterious hole in the ground. Intrigued, they took a closer look, and to their amazement, they saw a creature that resembled a dragon-like serpent moving in the hole. This creature is known as a worm, which is a mythical creature often depicted as a cave worm dwelling in underground tunnels. Worm is considered to be one of the most dangerous creatures that you can ever come across. It's also believed that a worm guards treasures in the underground caves and tunnels that they inhabit. However, it's not easy to approach them as they are always on high alert, ready to attack anyone who tries to steal their treasure. In summary, if you ever come across a worm, it's best to run and never look back. But that also means that you just found yourself riches unheard of. Run and leave the treasure or fight the creature for it. This surveillance camera that was installed to monitor the road captured something quite disturbing. As the cars were passing by, an unusual object was seen flying past. It was entirely black and appeared to have wings, but it was clear that it was not a bird. The creature looked much larger than a bird, and as it flew past, something that resembled human feet could be seen. It's quite difficult to determine what exactly the creature was, but it could be a human-bird hybrid or some kind of mutant. The incident has led to many theories and speculations, but no one knows for sure what we are looking at. Aaron thinks it might be a Garuda, but Julius points out that the whole thing is too unnatural to be a real capture. He suspects it's an elaborate hoax. What do you guys think? In Georgia, a pair of famous YouTubers set out into the woods to investigate an old abandoned house. When they got there, the house was empty with not much to film, so they decided to look around. This led them to the lower part of the house. As they were there, they heard footsteps coming from the house above them, which was strange because they were the only ones present.
So that's a 1958 Coke bottle, right? What is that?
So they crawled out of there only to be met with silence and emptiness. Who was that third person they heard? Was it the ghost of the former resident of the house, or was it a spirit present? Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment? If you haven't already, it goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. Have you seen a ladder take a walk? Well, if you haven't, today's your lucky day. Take a look. Yup, that's a ladder walking away. At some point, my assistant thought it was just the wind, but the wind won't move it in the way it did unless there was some invisible person working it out. We slowed the footage to try and see if there was any strings attached to any of the legs, but we couldn't find any convincing patterns that would establish it. We were left to accept that the ladder is indeed walking. How is it doing that? We wish we knew. Perhaps some things are best left a mystery. This video clip was recorded of a little bird running along the sandy beach. It's quite unusual to see birds running at such a pace, as they tend to fly or walk around while looking for food. However, this particular bird seems to be moving at an extraordinary speed, almost as if it was training for a race with the Flash. It's an exaggeration, but yes, upon closer inspection it became evident that there was nothing wrong with the bird. The reason it appeared to be moving so unnaturally fast was simply that it was moving faster than the frames per second rate of the camera used to record the video. The difference in speed between the bird and the camera's FPS rate created an optical illusion, making the bird appear to be running much faster than it actually was. Before we move on to the next clip, kindly smash the like and subscribe buttons and bell icon if you haven't already. Done? Well, let's jump back into it. Tell me what you see. It appears that there is an entity moving in the water, and although it's not visible, there's a clear indication that something quite large is present in the water. Some people believe that this could be a massive sea creature swimming out of the water. However, I'm inclined to think that it's an electrical cable being dragged out of the water, and the water's movement is causing the cable to appear to be moving on its own. What's your opinion on this footage? Our next footage was taken by some hikers in British Columbia as far back as 2013. Take a look. They were on a mountain when they noticed a dark-furred humanoid walking below from a distance. They believed they had seen Bigfoot. Looking at the footage, it has to be. But then again, there's only so much we can see. Skeptics who saw the footage believed it couldn't be declared as a Bigfoot, which comes as no surprise to us. After all, skeptics often attribute such sightings to misidentifications, shadows, or other natural phenomena. In many cases, what people believe to be Bigfoot turns out to be a bear, a person, or some other explainable phenomena. So the question remains, was this a genuine Bigfoot sighting, or could there be a more rational explanation for the figure the hikers saw? On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now before I send that creature after you. On a more serious note, it really helps out a ton and gives us the opportunity to keep making these videos for you, so please do so and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much. Our next footage is one of the reasons why people believe that we are indeed in a matrix. A lighter was put on a table by a wall. The fire was lit, but when you looked at the wall, there was something strange going on. The shadow of the lighter was showing on the wall, but the fire was not. There could be a few explanations for such an occurrence. One possibility is that the lighting conditions and the camera angle created a situation where the shadow was more prominent than the flame itself. Shadows can sometimes be more defined depending on the light source and the angle. What are your thoughts? Whilst we try to find answers to the previous footage, I believe that the next footage will leave your jaw dropping to the ground, and I mean literally. A person found these strange things floating around his brother's house. They looked like smoke, but they were oddly luminous and in weird shapes. The thing, however, is that they seemed like they were frozen in time, and you and I know that's not how smoke looks or functions. According to him, they suddenly appeared in the house. When you study the footage, there's no justification for something like that existing. The man swears it's not a hoax and certainly not CGI because they don't have the expertise, skills, or money for that. So what do you think we're dealing with here? What a man thought would be some quality bonding time with his son ended with them running out of the woods in terror. This man had gone walking with his little boy in the woods. As they had settled in an area just enjoying nature, the man heard some footsteps behind him, so he took out his camera and started looking around. That is when he caught a glimpse of a dark figure feet away from them. The man didn't see what it was, but something in him just told him to get the hell out of there. Without wasting time, he told his son to start running while he followed behind. They ran for a while and came to a stop. When he looked back, he saw that the dark figure was still after them, but luckily they had put a safe distance between them and it. To this day, no one knows what was there, but the man's instincts proved that whatever it was not safe to be around it. You wake up one serene morning, the world outside blanketed in fresh snow after a night of gentle flurries. As you groggily approach the window to take in the wintry scene, you're met with an unexpected sight. A majestic moose, tall and proud, right outside your window. Its breath forms little clouds in the chilly air as it curiously peers into your room, almost as if it's offering a friendly good morning. The moose, with its massive antlers and a coat of snowflakes, seems to embody the peaceful charm of the winter landscape. A man went out in the snow with his dog just to enjoy the winter. Suddenly, a wild moose appears. Now, most people would think, oh, well, it's just a moose. They're chill, right? Well, not this one. The moose decides to go full-on sprint mode toward the guy. Probably upset about something. Luckily, he moved out of the way. From what we can tell, this moose is not a morning person. The dog, on the other hand, seems to have a lot of energy because it starts to bark at the huge moose in an attempt to save its owner. Luckily, the moose did not attack any further, and the man called his dog and both retreated to the comfort of their home. This diver just looked at death in the face, and I mean literally. She had strapped on her diving suit and was a second away from jumping into the sea when she spotted a huge creature emerging from the water. She backed down and moved backwards, only to see a huge shark with its mouth wide open waiting for her to jump right in. Thankfully, quick thinking and a sixth sense saved her from going on an involuntary shark date. It's like a real-life thriller, The Diver Who Dodged Jaws. Note to self, sometimes it's okay to bail on that daring dive if your gut says, no, well, yeah, maybe not today. A taxi driver was parked on the side of the road when something scares him out of his car. Initially, he was making a phone call when he saw something in the rearview mirror moving behind him. Being the only one in the car, he quickly turned to look at what it was, and there he saw his answer, the ghostly face of a child looking back at him. The face was pale and had dark circles around its eyes. Once he saw what he saw, the scared man rushed out of the car. Fortunately, or not, the security camera in the car was on, so it captured the ghostly intruder. When he finally mustered the courage to go back to the vehicle, he reviewed the footage and asked the paranormal experts online for clarity. So what do you think? Now that's a wild wake-up call. Imagine unzipping your tent all ready to face the day, and boom. There's a deer right there giving you the morning stare down. This camper had the experience and didn't have to imagine it. Lucky guy. It's almost like Mr. Deer there is his campsite guardian waiting for him to join the great outdoors. What do you think of it? Spooky or cute? What creatures do you think we are looking at here? This footage surfaced back in 2018 from a farm in Indiana, and it shows what I can only describe as a hideous-looking creature. The body of the creature looks like that of a goat, but its long neck and strange face say otherwise. When this footage surfaced on the internet, people were quick to give their opinions about it, and given its appearance, most comments were pretty harsh. Some said the creature was the ugliest animal in the world. Others said it looked like the devil himself, while others called it the monster goat. But after a little research, we found out that this is not a monster goat or the devil himself. It's called a Damascus goat. They're a rare breed of goat with rather distinct features. This one, however, looks this way according to some because of selective breeding. Can the experts confirm or debunk this? Nature's throwing us another curveball, and this time it's ants staging a weird forest dance. Imagine stumbling upon this oddity in the heart of the woods, a bunch of ants locked in a mysterious circle, all hustling around a peculiar white stone. Now, animals are like Mother Nature's early warning system, right? So when you spot ants behaving like they just discovered the insect version of a dance floor, it's bound to raise some eyebrows. They're all in this circular hustle, seemingly fixated on a white stone at the center, and there's the strange white fluid on the grass, adding an extra layer of intrigue. What's the deal, Mother Nature? Is this an ant rave or a secret insect council meeting? Are they summoning ant deities, or is it just an oddly organized ant picnic? Now, what do we have here? Some possessed insect? Well, that's what I thought when I saw it, but turns out this creature is what we call a wasp-manted fly. Just imagine a wasp and a praying mantis deciding to have a bizarre love child. That's the wasp-manted fly for you. It's got the sleek, slender body of a wasp, but those front legs, pure mantis vibes. It looks like the insect world decided to experiment with genetic fusion just to keep things interesting. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. This critter is a bit of a predator with the taste for small insects and larvae. When it's mealtime, it goes all ninja with those mantis-like legs, snatching up its prey with precision. But wait, there's more. The wasp-manted fly has a neat trick up its sleeve. It's able to mimic the appearance of wasps, rocking the yellow and black colors to confuse both predators and unsuspecting prey. Let's just say that if you lived in the insect world, this would be the last creature you would want to encounter. Imagine being on a railway track and having a creature show up on it and refuse to move. This is what happened to these Russians who were simply going about their daily activities. We're not sure why the moose got on the track or why it's even refusing to move despite the loud horns, but you can't deny the fact that it's cute. If you were the one in charge of the train, what would you have done? Would you have been as patient as the ones in this footage, or would you have done something else? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. Entering a cave and stumbling upon a pride of lions is not an everyday occurrence. It sounds like a scene straight out of a wildlife documentary. The image of these majestic creatures huddled up in a small cave opening is quite surreal. It certainly is a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence, and the one filming is very fortunate that the lions didn't see him as a threat. Even if they did, they chose to simply threaten him without attacking. Perhaps they were taking a nap after a substantial meal, or maybe they were simply not in the mood. Perhaps they also didn't want to move out of their comfort zone, as it looked like the cave offered a cool and sheltered spot for a rest. Oh my goodness, humanity is doomed. just take a look at this footage. If you've not seen the movie Life, then you'll not understand why I'm panicking. This dark mass attempting to swallow the crab, and it reminds me of Calvin from the movie. I mean, it just looks the same. Fingers crossed that it's just a case of internet trickery, because if not, we might be looking at a real-life remake of Life, and that's a horror scenario none of us have signed up for. Naturally, I did some digging around and discovered that there's a possibility of it being a marine flatworm. If you don't know anything about these creatures, perhaps you may want to go back and look them up now before you find yourself exclaiming, "We are Venom!" On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now before I send that creature after you. On a more serious note, it really helps us out a ton and gives us the opportunity to keep making these videos for you. Please do so and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much. Imagine buying a pet turtle and coming home one day to see it floating above your tiled floor. What on earth is this, and are animals now learning spells too? If you look closely around its legs, you may see what looks like rags holding them. But look again. Do you see it now? They look like mini humans swimming with it. Are these the beings responsible for the strange things that we are seeing? Or is the turtle their master and they're simply there to do what it desires? It's hard to say, and we couldn't find anything of this sort in our paranormal books. Can anyone amongst you help us with any explanation? AI is everywhere now and involved in everything now that we basically can no longer imagine a future without some sort of AI. But is AI as safe as we think it is? Before you answer, watch this footage. Yes, those are AI robots sitting in a game. While many think this is cute and represents an advancement in the human race, you have to agree that it could be also dangerous. I mean, what if these things turn on us and start attacking? Who would be there to keep us safe? Venturing into an abandoned cave can indeed unleash surprises, and it sounds like this couple got more than they bargained for. They were on a hike in the mountains when they heard a noise coming from the cave nearby. Now, most folks call it a day, but not these two. They decide to soldier on. As they went further into the cave, the noise strangely stopped, but they still decided to check it out, and what they saw scared them out of the place. There, emerging from the darkness of the cave, was a creature with glowing eyes. It was very slender and tall and made a strange ticking sound. What could they have seen in the cave? Logically, there could be several explanations. It might be a creature native to the cave, perhaps a type of animal adapted to low-light conditions. Looking at its features, however, I'm pretty sure it's something sinister. All right, hold up. Are we witnessing the return of medieval shenanigans or what? Forget humans wrestling humans. Apparently, we're going back to the days when folks grappled with bears for kicks. Two beings, one human, one bear, having what seems like the weirdest playdate ever. And get this, they both looked like they were having a blast. It's like a bizarre version of Fight Club, where the first rule is apparently have fun. Now, call me crazy, but I thought we'd moved on from wrestling with bears. Wasn't that a thing in medieval times when boredom levels were off the charts? But here we are in the 21st century with what looks like a bear-human wrestling match for sheer amusement. I guess we've not seen it all yet. Though I don't approve, you have to admit it's impressive that the man was able to hold the weight of the creature as long as he did. A Trailcam owner was startled when he came across an image on his device. Not knowing what it was, he posted the image to Facebook hoping to get the opinion of others. The picture in question is this image that you see on your screen. You can see a dog-like creature standing on its two legs. The creature had a pair of eerily glowing eyes and was staring straight into the camera. Facebook users were left with a flood of theories on what this could be. While others held the notion that it was a dog man, others said this could be a possessed canine, and some truly believed it was a goblin of sorts. So what do you guys also think this is? While we are trying to figure out the strange creatures and phenomena that plague our world, there are also those who choose to do strange things that leave us all shocked and questioning them. This footage was taken on a train. In the footage, we see a person in a costume and heavy makeup eating spaghetti on the floor. I mean, this is a train, and I don't even want to get started on how unsanitary that is. But what is wrong with this person? Could it be that he needs help psychologically, or is he just doing this for attention? Any New Yorker with an answer? Still on Bigfoot, we travel all the way to snowy Russia for our next footage. Take a look. Now, you may not understand what's happening, but the recorder of the footage decided to embark on a journey into the snowy night to prove to everyone that the Bigfoot that they had apparently been seeing was nothing more than a hoax. Once out there, however, he started to notice these strange prints in the snow. Although skeptical, he started to record just in case there was a Bigfoot, and that's exactly what he found. Some 2 kilometers from him, he saw a creature moving. Zooming in, he recorded what you see on your screen, but of course it's blurry due to how zoomed in the footage is. He truly believes he encountered a Bigfoot. Some have called the whole thing a hoax, stating that they couldn't understand how the first footage was as clear as day and the last one was as blurry as the dark night. Quite frankly, I know zooming in could do that to footage, but perhaps that's a convenient way to explain a hoax. What do you think? Did this Russian really encounter a Bigfoot, or is he playing mind games? This footage was captured by a group of friends who'd gone out to have fun in the town. While returning, they made a spontaneous decision to embrace the wild and revel in nature's beauty. Against the backdrop of a dark road and a considerable distance from civilization, one of the friends daringly ventured ahead on foot. Meanwhile, the remaining group members stayed in the car, cautiously following behind. Their sense of alarm heightened when their friend abruptly returned, sprinting toward them. Their gazes fixated on an uncanny sight, a creature resembling an insect crawling eerily before them. Did you see it? What in the world is that? No one truly knows, and even the rest of the paranormal community is baffled. A part of me believes this might be a hoax, though. How are they conveniently filming before the friend runs towards them? Why would he be out in the dark without any light? The possible answers to those questions make me believe it's all fake, but what do you think? Do you believe haunted forests exist? Would you explore one if they really did exist? Well, before you answer, we have footage from a couple who actually went in search of a witch in a forest they'd heard and believed was haunted. Yeah, you heard that right. They actually went in search of a witch in a haunted forest. It started as a typical witch hunt until they came across something on the ground that sent shivers down their spines. If you carefully observe the footage, you'll notice a whitish object that defies explanation. It doesn't resemble any known creature and appears lifeless. As the witch-hunting couple approached the object, an eerie presence enveloped them, accompanied by strange noises. As if that wasn't creepy enough, the woman starts feeling as though someone is pulling and entangling her. They were all visibly shaken up at this point, but despite their evident fear, the adventurous duo bravely continue their quest. They end up in a different location with a chilling sight, an eerie ritual ground adorned with flickering candles. A strange man then emerges from the dark. The couple were clearly startled, but they muster the courage to ask him questions. He shows no interest in answering their questions and rushes to grab something from the ground. Without waiting to find out what it is, they make a smart move and start running away, only to be pursued by the man. It's clear that these guys entered a territory they were not supposed to. For a moment, I wondered if they survived, but then I remembered they were YouTubers who had uploaded the video themselves indicating their survival. But there are some of my team who think it could have all been made up for clout. What do you think? Once again, we're faced with a spectacle that leaves us questioning Mother Nature. A boat that set sail to catch fish came across a mysterious passenger. This invited passenger came disguised as a catfish, but when one of the men aboard went poking at it, this so-called catfish, instead of fins, had crab claws. Realizing this is not a typical member of the ocean dwellers, the man decided to push the fish back into the water. But it looked like it actually enjoyed being out of the water and wanted to teach the man a lesson or two before going back. Now the question is, what type of fish are we dealing with here? I mean, it's not every day you see a fish with crab claws for fins, so how is this even possible? Unless this is a species on its own or a mudfish and a crab interbred, I don't know what the logical explanation for this could be. Do you? The woods seem to get more dangerous as the days go by, and even hiking alone has become a problem. I know you would be wondering why I'm saying that. To answer, let's take a look at this next clip. Out in the woods, a hiker found himself lost and trying to navigate his way back when he noticed something approaching. Assuming it was a panther, he decided to hide. However, as the creature drew nearer, it turned out to be something even more perplexing. The creature had a face that resembled a dog, a long snout and dark fur. What made it peculiar was its posture. It was standing on its hind legs. Lucky it seemed preoccupied and didn't notice the hiker just a few steps away. What type of creature could that be? Naturally, a dog, man, or a werewolf comes to mind. This fortunate hiker went out innocently for a walk, but for his keen observation skills, he would never have returned home. And that leaves us asking one simple question. Are we not safe hiking anymore? Right off the bat, we start with something rather bizarre and strange. Take a look at this strange creature. It looks like some sort of bug, but instead of having legs, it uses tentacle-like appendages to propel itself forward. It's not your typical Earth critter, that's for sure. Now, I'm left wondering if we're dealing with some extraterrestrial visitor or if it's just a species we haven't stumbled upon yet. I want it to be an alien, but who knows? This could actually be some previously unknown animal species. What do you think? A hospice nurse is the owner of this photograph. As one of her patients neared her demise, the patient said she was sensing something in the room with her. She was given a small camera to help her try and capture what she was sensing and seeing. When the photo was developed, this is what appeared. A luminous entity in the darkness. It looks like a humanoid being with wings. The nurse believed that the patient was seeing her guardian angel coming for her. What are your thoughts on this? While out in the mountains in Turkey, a group of men came across a creature on a hill staring down at them. From the footage, we can tell that the creature had a pair of horns and eyes glowing in the dark. Its head resembled that of a goat, while its body looked almost like a human crouching down. Could this be the legendary Goat Man? Share your thoughts with me in the comment section. If you didn't think Bigfoot or the Sasquatch was real, perhaps this next footage might change your mind. Enjoy. Once the footage starts, we're introduced to a crime scene. In a second or two, we see something dark, furry, and tall move in the background. Enter our Bigfoot. At this point, any skeptic might think that it's nothing more than a man in a costume. If you're one of those, you're forgiven. The creature moving in the background then easily picks up a tree and then hits the ground or another tree with it. Not particularly sure what it's doing, but you have to admit that it takes some strength and power to pull that off, and no man can do that. If you're a skeptic, what do you have to say for yourself after seeing this clip? This trail camera image reveals what appears to be an alien creature in the middle of the woods, adding to the growing list of reported alien sightings around the world. The intrigue and curiosity surrounding such phenomena have become increasingly commonplace, with stories of extraterrestrial encounters becoming a familiar part of the global narrative. The image prompts contemplation on the possibility of otherworldly beings making appearances in our midst. While skeptics may attribute such sightings to various factors, the allure of the unknown continues to captivate those fascinated by mysteries beyond our understanding. What do you think of this capture, though? A potential glimpse into the realm of extraterrestrial existence, or another hoax meant to mock us, the believers in the paranormal? These strange creatures were captured in an abandoned shed in the woods. I know they look alien, but these are barn owls. Barn owls, Tyto alba, as they're also known in science, are medium-sized owls known for their unique appearance and wide distribution. They have a heart-shaped facial disc that helps them hear better. These owls live in various places like grasslands, farms, and open woodlands, and are often found near farms and barns, which is the reason for their names. Now, these barn owls, with their 2 feet firmly planted on the ground, do cut a rather unique figure. From a certain angle, one might even wonder if we've stumbled upon intergalactic species practicing their synchronized standing routine. I'm quite sure a lot of people have mistaken them to be aliens. Confession, I used to be one, but don't judge me, okay? I changed and I grew, and now I know their name. Our next footage is one of the reasons why we shouldn't mess around in the woods. This video was taken by an adventurer who went into the woods at night. I don't know about the reason why he did this, but I'm sure he's never going near the forest for a while. As he was roaming, he caught sight of this hideous creature in the woods. The creature had strange burnt-like skin. Its fingers were clawed and its ears were pointed. I don't know, but if you ask me, it looks like some sort of demonic dwarf. Naturally, our adventurer who saw this creature did not waste any more time there. He left as fast as his tired legs would allow him. I mean, who knows what else was roaming the woods, and who knows what their response to his presence could be. Either way, does any of you know with certainty what this is, or do I need to hit the paranormal books? There are theories that before the human race, there were beings that roamed the earth, some half human and half animal. These beings were later worshipped as gods on earth. So when scientists discovered this mummy locked in a box in a Japanese temple, they were curious to find out what this creature could be. Obviously, they could see that the creature was half human and half fish. But how? Despite probing and researching and asking questions, they can't find any scientific basis for the existence of this creature. This leaves us with questions. Could it be a spiritual being materialized, which is why they can't find anything on it, or are we looking at an elaborate hoax passed down for centuries? Well, no one knows for sure. Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos like this for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. Take a look at this image, a female Amothamus spider and a nest of children spotted in Malaysia. Just look at how many babies there are. Amothamus spiders, also known as tarantulas, are notable for their often striking colors and intricate web structures. Female tarantulas are generally larger than males, and they are known to create silk nests or burrows to protect their offspring. Once the spiderlings hatch, they stay close to the mother for a period, just like in the picture, before venturing out on their own. Female tarantulas invest considerable energy into producing a large number of offspring, although not all of them may survive to adulthood. If you walked into a site like this, what would your reaction be? Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a big tarantula after you now, would you?
Porque María vivió eso una vez menos, eso se lleva todo. Y ahí le una bronca, y yo, y ahí le Marisa se me perdieron porque yo estaba por fuera y no las encontraba.
In this footage, we have strange-looking blue clouds that have formed some sort of tunnel to the Earth. This looks so strange. Some suggest it could be a portal, a gateway for extraterrestrials to make their grand entrance on Earth. Others raise the possibility of advanced alien technology at play, turning the sky into a canvas of celestial wonder. What's your perspective on this celestial display? A unique atmospheric event, or perhaps a glimpse into the realm of extraterrestrial mysteries? A family was parked by the roadside when they spotted a moose feeding on the other side of the road in front of the forest, so they decided to film. While mesmerized by the moose's feeding, their attention was abruptly drawn to another presence, a ghostly, pale creature lurking in the shadows behind the moose. The creature appeared to be standing on 2 feet and later moved to a crouch. The creature's appearance, with its pale complexion and slender physique, defied wild animal characteristics, bearing a striking resemblance to a skinwalker. Known for hunting both humans and animals, the mystic creature was likely biding its time, waiting for the perfect opportunity to pounce on the delectable moose. But what do you think? Take a look at this security cam footage. Now, study the black cat moving. What was that? The cat vanished into thin air. How is that even possible? Watch that again. No, that's not possible. Watch it again. It's simply mind-boggling. Could we be dealing with a supernatural being in the form of a cat, or is this video merely edited? The paranormal enthusiast in me wants to believe this is real. I mean, just take a look at the footage. It's too real to be edited. Many, however, believe that's the case, but if this video is indeed edited, it's flawlessly done. I personally don't want to believe that. I want to believe that there is something more sinister or supernatural occurring here, rather than just a camera trick. Black cats for centuries and across many cultures have been known to be very spiritual. Some see them as a sign of poverty, others of bad luck or even death. Despite this, the dog-furred felines are very popular with witches. They are the witches' favorite pets. So could it be that this cat was on its way to its master? Tell us what you think. Speaking of aliens, let's dive into this intriguing encounter. On the eerie night of September the 22nd, 2004, in the quiet halls of an abandoned office in Rayon, Nuevo Leon, a diligent security guard with a trusty Kodak DX4530 camera embarked on a routine patrol, ensuring that all was calm in the deserted workspace. The guard had no clue that the calm he was enjoying that night was about to be disrupted. As he wandered through the dimly lit corridors, a sudden chill ran down his spine. There, in the pale glow of his flashlight, stood a bug-eyed alien. The extraterrestrial visitor possessed the unmistakable features of popular lore: a huge head, black eyes, and a pale humanoid body. As soon as he managed to take a picture of the creature, it fled, leaving the security shocked with nothing but his picture to show of the encounter. What would you have done in such a situation? This security camera footage captures a peculiar moment as a glowing orb emerges from the woods, floats across the camera lens, and continues its journey into the distance. Unlike a conventional fire, the distinct characteristics of the glowing orb are evident in the footage. Such unexplained phenomena often lead to speculation and varied interpretations. The mystery surrounding glowing orbs has fueled discussions ranging from natural atmospheric occurrences to paranormal and extraterrestrial possibilities. What are your thoughts on this intriguing footage, a natural phenomenon, or perhaps a glimpse into the realm of the unexplained? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Next up, we have this Trailcam capture of, quite frankly, the most beautiful deer I have ever seen. But she's not the focus today. What if I told you that the image you see was captured at night and not during the day? I'm pretty sure that might shock you, since it looks like the image was taken during the daytime and is only being desaturated. However, according to the individuals who submitted the image, it was captured at night in the absence of any surrounding lights. Yet, inexplicably, a radiant orb appears in the image. If the testimony of the uploader is to be believed, then we know there's definitely something supernatural going on here. If you've followed this channel for long, then you should know that orbs are usually an indication of supernatural activity, and judging by the size of this one, there's got to be a lot of supernatural activity going on here. The challenge is, we don't know what kind of activity that will be. Could it be one of the fabled spirits of the forests? Could it be a being from another dimension making its way to ours? No one can really say for sure what created an orb this big. Of course, some theories propose that it might be an alien spaceship landing nearby, but honestly, we don't quite see it that way. But what do you think? For our penultimate video, we step away from the supernatural and enjoy some cuteness. Take a look at this footage captured by a trail cam set up in the wild. We see a mother bear and her cubs marching in the woods to either seek shelter for the night or get themselves some dinner. Mother bears are extremely protective of their cubs. Despite their adorable appearance, it's crucial to remember that encountering a mother bear and her cubs can be extremely dangerous. Thanks to trail cams, however, you can enjoy such encounters without having to be close to them. Step into the eerie tale of Hanchurch Woods, UK, where in the chilling grasp of November 2011, a photo surfaced unveiling a spectral figure of a lady. The ghostly lady in question appears to be wearing a hat. According to the owner of the image, there was no one smoking or vaping around, and before you reach for your skepticism, the image is also said to be 100% original and untouched after being reviewed. This means that there's no digital trickery involved. Images like this make you ponder the existence of the supernatural. What's your interpretation of this ghostly apparition in Hanchurch Woods? A genuine paranormal encounter, or perhaps an optical illusion with a spooky twist? What in the world is this? A woman was seen walking hand in hand with a black-skinned humanoid creature with white eyes, scant hair, and two tiny horns perched on its head. This petite creature is more of a supernatural sidekick than a typical 6-year-old. Given the lack of alarm from people in the background, this must be a person in a costume or makeup, perhaps for a planned event, possibly for entertainment, art, or a specific theme. Events like costume parties, theatrical shows, or artistic performances often showcase elaborate and realistic outfits that can generate a mix of fear and fascination because of how lifelike and haunting they present. For a minute, I thought we had to start getting an exorcist. Thankfully, we don't. El Nino is safe. The rate at which mythical creatures are making an appearance these days is alarming. In this footage, a man filmed two men in yellow protective gear from head to toe coming toward a river. The men were holding a net, but their attire was not something you would wear to a fishing trip unless something fishy was going on. So the person filming hit himself as he watched the men walk into the shallow part of the water to retrieve something. They caught it in the net and brought it to land. As they put the creature down, something curious happened. A long fishtail resembling that of a stereotypical mermaid fell down. Did these men just catch a mermaid? Looking at the color of its tail, I'm tempted to ask, what if the creature and things we saw in The Little Mermaid are not as unreal as we think they are? What if these creatures are actually out there and a danger to us? Is nature now playing magic tricks on us? A man was driving by a field when he noticed something strange. As he looked through his window, he saw a brush burning, so he parked to check it out. But that's where things get odd. When he looked out this time, the fire was gone. When he went back into the car and looked out through his glass window, he noticed the fire. But when he tried to use his naked eyes, there was simply nothing there. I mean, how is this even possible? The thing is, well, we don't know, but even David Blaine could never stop or explain this strange phenomenon. Our next image, which is a Trailcam image, captures a rather strange creature. The owner of the Trailcam was pretty shocked to spot this creature. It looks like a deer, but not quite. Its snout is longer, almost like an anteater, but not as long as one. What could we be looking at? A deformed animal? Some paranormal enthusiasts believe that this is a skinwalker. These shape-shifting entities can assume animal forms. The belief is that sometimes these transformations don't go as planned, resulting in creatures that appear deformed or otherworldly. What's your take on this enigmatic Trailcam capture? A unique and potentially undiscovered species, or could it indeed be a manifestation of paranormal entities like the elusive skinwalkers? What are these strange cloud formations? These clouds are making strange formations and moving pretty fast. Possible atmospheric phenomena that could create unusual cloud formations include the presence of certain weather conditions, wind patterns, or even the convergence of air masses. In the case of forming tornado suspicions, it's crucial to note that tornadoes are associated with specific atmospheric conditions, and they typically manifest in severe weather situations. What are your thoughts on this atmospheric mystery? Do you lean towards a natural explanation, or does the phenomenon evoke a sense of the unexplained in you? Tell us in the comment section. Kangaroos are such bullies in wildlife. They will just grab onto anything that comes toward them. Take a look at the situation here. A man went out with his 3 dogs when he realized one was missing. He went searching for it when he spotted it in the river under the tight grip of a kangaroo. He held onto the dog's neck so tightly in the water that the dog was getting out of breath. Luckily, the owner came right on time to rescue his pet, but not after his phone got smacked into the water and the kangaroo attempted to attack him as well. But he did come out safely with all 3 dogs, except for one panting for breath, and the owner ended up with a few scratches from the kangaroo's claws. A man captured something strange going on outside his house on his security camera. It all began when he spotted a dark figure standing in the middle of the road opposite his house. This dark figure looks like a person on a black road. As this stranger stood there facing the house, a car light began to reflect, indicating that a car was approaching. Naturally, he expected the strange person to get off the road, but the person just stood there unmoving until something bizarre happened. The car passed right through it, making the homeowner alarmed. However, the dark figure was still in place. Disturbed by what he'd seen, the homeowner came out to see for himself, which he figured was still there. Unfortunately, or rather fortunately, as soon as he steps out, the entity disappears. If it had not been caught on camera, no one would believe him. This security footage was sent in by someone who noticed something rather odd happening in it.
I want you to see this. This is crazy. Ah, you see that, Andrew?
A woman appears out of nowhere holding bags. It's the kind of spectacle that prompts us to wonder if ethereal entities are strolling incognito amongst us. You have to wonder where she's coming from and how often she does this. Also, is she the only one or are there more? These are questions that naturally come up when you see the clip. Of course, it could be a case of edited footage, but it has not been proven if the footage was tampered with or not. Until then, Aaron and I believe this might be the real deal. But what about you? Back on the topic of giants, a giant three-fingered hand was found in late 2016 in a Peruvian desert tunnel. While some believe it could be a hoax, a physician's report states that the hand is biological and composed of skin and bone. X-ray images uncovered 6 bones in each finger, coupled with experts approximating the owner's height to be between 2.7 and 3 meters. This means that the finger does not match any recognized earthly being. So what could we be dealing with? To solve this mystery, radiocarbon and DNA tests will be performed to give a scientific spotlight on this perplexing hand. Until then, we can only speculate. What do you think they'll discover after this test? Alien giants or another species of advanced humans that used to live on Earth? Tell us what you think. While we have encountered many creepy and scary stories, it's often the eerie presence of people that can be even more unsettling. You know they're human, but you can't tell if they have good intentions or not. This footage was taken by a man on his property. For about 3 days, he'd been seeing strange people wandering in the woodlands on his property. Their collective movement hinted at a singular destination, but its exact whereabouts remained a mystery to him. Unaware of his presence, they maintained a silent vigil, stealthily lurking throughout the area. They seemed to all be going to one location, but where he couldn't tell. Confused? Have a look. You see them, don't you? Very creepy, isn't it? Footage like this leaves us with many questions. Who are they? Why are they doing that? Is it some kind of ritual? Are they an occult? Is anyone in that area truly safe? I hope I'm not the only one creeped out by this. Have you encountered such before? What do you think of the whole thing? Tell us in the comments section. Next, we return to Arizona, where this image was captured. At first glance, it looks like an ape in the bushes. A second and more careful look should reveal that although the creature has the fur for the look, it's no ape. When standing upright, the creature measures a towering 7 to 8 feet in height. Despite its fur, its body exhibits more human-like characteristics. This made all who saw it believe it was a Bigfoot, albeit a juvenile one given its size. Although it was big, adult Bigfoots are typically bigger, and individuals could say for certain that it was a Bigfoot because Bigfoot sightings are quite popular in that area. So what do you think? Is this the real deal, or could the whole thing simply be a hoax? Tell us in the comments section. Next, there's more mysterious action, but this time it's in a parking lot. Someone notices a strange creature running fast behind a car like it's on a mission. As it rushes, it goes straight for cover under another vehicle. When you take a closer look and slow down the footage, the mysterious being becomes clear. A yellow, small creature with a humanoid body. It clearly looks alien. The creature's purposeful actions, like choosing to hide under another car, hint at a level of intelligence and intentionality not commonly seen in regular wildlife behavior. What's interesting is that the creature seems to know the person is coming, showing a sense of caution or maybe a wish to stay out of sight. Interesting, don't you think? Now let me take you to the mysterious streets of Bosnia, Europe, where a late-night drive turned into an otherworldly encounter. A group of people were cruising through the silent streets, the hum of the engine cutting through the quiet night. Suddenly, they brought the car to a halt. But why? Well, it was because of this. Hundreds of birds standing on the road. Now, it's not your usual feathered flock either. These birds seem to have organized a street takeover. No cars in sight, just the road filled with birds leisurely strolling and others standing, fixating their gaze on the approaching vehicle. What were the birds doing there, congregating in the dead of night, and why were they settled on the ground? Is there a reason they chose to abandon the high grounds? If any of you have answers, please share them in the comments section. Next, we visit Argentina, where an interesting footage was captured. In this clip, we see a bright round ball with a trail of red light behind it. At first glance, it bears a striking resemblance to a meteor hurtling through the atmosphere. Is it one, though? If a meteor made it to our atmosphere, especially this close to civilization, it would have been on the news, but nothing was recorded. Could it be aliens in a UFO? Could it be a secret government project going haywire? Or is it just an edited video? Well, we can't say based on the evidence available to us, but taking a good look at it, which do you think it is? Next, we have footage taken by a couple of teenagers who went out one night to have a good time. If you've been following the trend on this page, you'll know that it's definitely not how it played out, and you'd be right for thinking so. Once they got to their location, they were met with a surprise. They encountered an enigmatic figure dressed in a peculiar attire strolling through the park. They couldn't discern what it was, but they remembered that there had been a mysterious death in the park. The corpse was found with no foul play. Looking at the being before them, they didn't need to be told that it was a paranormal being. They actually started suspecting that the being before them could have been responsible for the death of the man earlier. They posted the video online and it immediately went viral. The residents of the area had actually been complaining of a strange and eerie presence in the park, and this confirmed their fears and suspicions. They believed that it was the entity responsible. But what do you think? Now, over the years, science has brought about many innovations and inventions, some to battle diseases and come up with new technology. Here we have a news report that says the doctors have come up with the first head transplant. This would take a series of processes to make this successful, and will last for 36 hours and a total of 10 medical staff to get this done. It starts from freezing the body and heads to a specific temperature to prevent it from dying. Then decapitation is done, but they start first with the neck, and when it comes to the spinal cord, they use a special tool made of diamond to curb any damage to be caused. Now the severed head will be taken to its new body, where they attach the esophagus with a special glue. The other vessels are also attached, and a plastic surgeon comes to attach the skin. After this, the body is put into a 4-week induced coma for the rest of everything to heal completely. Everything seems so well planned, but the question is, who is volunteering to do that? I would love to see it, but it looks like such a scary thing to go through. Is this something you could see yourself doing? Tell us in the comment section. Next, we have another security camera that appears to have captured a strange encounter. Two men were walking and appeared to be engrossed in conversation as they strolled freely. Suddenly, a beam appears from above, whisking away one of the men in a flash. It reminds me of those scenes from alien abduction movies. His left-behind friend, who noticed this, becomes scared, looks around, and starts to run. But where can he really go if there are aliens abducting with such efficiency and speed? This isn't the end of the encounter, however. After a while, the guy who vanished reappears sitting on the ground. He looks around in confusion, appears scared, and proceeds to stand up and run as well. Could this be one of those alien abduction cases where they took the wrong person and returned him, or could they have done something to him, just like we tag animals and then let him go? If this footage is real, then it's indeed very disturbing. Don't you agree? Next, we travel to the mysterious landscapes of White Mesa, where a thrilling discovery was made. While hiking amidst the majestic peaks, an observant hiker stumbled upon a set of tracks that sent chills down his spine. These tracks, measuring a staggering 20 inches, left an indelible impression on the hiker's mind. But it wasn't just their size that caught the hiker's attention. It was the distinct shape that added an extra layer of intrigue. Although the tracks bore a resemblance to a human foot, a subtle uniqueness set them apart. They were abnormally large, surpassing the size of any known human. Even the tallest and largest man on Earth couldn't boast such colossal feat. In that moment, the conclusion was undeniable. They had just discovered the footprints of Bigfoot. Anyone who laid eyes on these footprints couldn't help but make the connection to the legendary Bigfoot, a mythical being frequently sighted in these very mountains. If you ask me, I'd say the image was legit, but what do you think? This Trailcam captures a monster that looks like it belongs in Hotel Transylvania. The creature looked stick-like and took long strides across the field like a zombie. However, the creature is so tall that the only parts visible are its legs. It also appears to have no arms. Weird. Despite the footage appearing remarkably realistic, the majority of viewers and even my team believe it could be edited. However, it's crucial not to dismiss the possibility that this creature might indeed exist. Perhaps it only looks like a bad case of CGI because it's from another realm. Who knows? But what do you think? Our next clip was taken in the Congo. The clip features an interesting experiment where a small rock is connected to an LED light with wires, causing it to light up. In the next part of the clip, two larger rocks are brought together, creating sparks of electricity and fire. This experiment hints at the possibility of groundbreaking technology involving rocks that can generate electricity. The implications of this discovery are fascinating. This could mean potential for innovative applications and advancements. If rocks can produce electricity, it could lead to transformative effects in various fields, offering new opportunities for sustainable energy solutions. Sadly, though, I feel this isn't real. If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more videos like this for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. What would you do if you spotted this large spider in your home? This footage was taken from a home in Trinidad and Tobago. Most people say this is a Goliath bird eater, and Julius seems to think it truly is. For those like myself who are unfamiliar with it, the Goliath bird eater is among the world's largest spider species from the rainforests of South America. These spiders are known for their impressive size, with adult females growing their legs up to 30 centimeters. Despite their name, they mostly dine on invertebrates, occasionally capturing small birds, but not making it a regular part of their diet. If this is truly a Goliath bird eater in a Trinidad and Tobago home, it's a bit unusual as these spiders aren't native to the place. Yet the exotic pet trade has introduced various spider species to places where they wouldn't naturally be found. Speaking of being in the wrong place, these unfortunate campers unknowingly chose a sinister spot in the depths of the woods, an experience that would haunt them for life. As the camera holder bolts out of the tent, the boy captured in the frame follows suit, both in a state of sheer panic. It appears that they were frightened by something. As they keep running, the camera holder looks back at the tent, and there, standing in front of the tent, is a creature on all fours. That doesn't look like a wolf or a coyote. The creature had human features, but it was very skinny. This reminds me of a skinwalker. These are mythical humanoid creatures that can shapeshift into any animal and are known to eat humans. These boys are lucky they fled on time, and by the look of their reaction, I think this is the last camping trip of their lives. This footage was taken by a YouTuber who went ghost hunting in an abandoned house. As expected of any abandoned dwelling, this house stands in a state of decrepitude, shrouded in an oppressive veil of dust and time. It was nighttime, and the house had no lights, so he used a flashlight and camera to scan through the house. Just as he meticulously scanned the surroundings, a figure emerged from the darkness, standing ominously at the upstairs doorway. Did you see that? Who or what was that? A person with long black hair and pointed ears like an elf. Despite being visibly spooked, the determined YouTuber musters the courage to ascend the stairs in pursuit of the enigmatic figure. The YouTuber chased after the strange person, but by the time he got there, the person had vanished into the darkness. I don't know about you, but that was scary. While on deep-sea research, divers captured this colossal creature lurking in the ocean depths. And what does this aquatic enigma resemble? None other than the famed Mosasaurus. For those unacquainted with prehistoric marine creatures, the Mosasaurus was a colossal aquatic reptile that once ruled the ancient seas. It lived during the late Cretaceous period, and its fossils have been discovered around the world. Now, fast forward to the present, and we find ourselves faced with the uncanny semblance of this long-extinct behemoth in the depths. It's crucial to acknowledge that the existence of a living Mosasaurus would challenge our current understanding of evolutionary timelines. Nevertheless, the ocean continues to be an area of continual exploration, harboring many species yet to be fully uncovered and comprehended. Next, let's journey to Ghana, where we meet Abdul Samed, a man standing at an impressive 9 feet tall. Born in 1994 in the northern region of Ghana, Abdul Samed's towering stature is attributed to the endocrine disorder acromegaly. This condition arises from an excess of growth hormone in the body. Now, ponder with me for a moment. Here's a living giant amidst us, and reports of individuals with extraordinary heights echo from various corners of the globe. Could these individuals be descendants or, in some way, connected to the mythical giants that have captured our curiosity? Or is it really nothing more than just an endocrine disorder as stated earlier? Share your thoughts. If I didn't know any better, I would assume that this is a seal chewing gum, but it's an actual species of seal called the hooded seal. Hooded seals are indeed a fascinating and unique species, known for their distinct nasal hood that males can inflate and the striking appearance it gives them. Comparing one to a seal chewing gum is a whimsical and creative way to describe their appearance. These seals are well adapted to their cold and challenging environments, primarily found in the Arctic and North Atlantic. While they may not be engaging in chewing gum, their behavior and features are captivating in their own right. Hooded seals are skilled swimmers, spending much of their lives in the ocean and occasionally coming ashore for breeding and molting. Seen one? Tell us your experience. Encounters with creatures like Bigfoot are the stuff of legends and campfire tales, but for one man in Tennessee, it became a very real and unforgettable experience. It all began with strange vocalizations echoing through the lush green lands, a haunting combination of howls and growls. Intrigued, the man decided to follow the eerie sounds. His journey led him to a set of enormous footprints in the mud, tracks that were far too large to belong to a human. The discovery added an extra layer of mystery and intrigue to the situation. As he was inspecting the prints, the man's heart must have raced when he heard rustling leaves in the brush ahead. He turned to find himself face to face with a Peking Bigfoot. The creature stared at him, a moment frozen in time before vanishing into the woods. For our next one, if you have a fear of spiders or arachnophobia, you might want to skip it. Yes, you're seeing right. Those are the legs of a spider and its underbelly or thorax, if I'm not mistaken. Is the spider giant, though? As much as I'd love to say yes, it's not. It's a normal-sized spider moving on top of the Trailcam. We've encountered numerous instances of this, which led me to wonder if Trailcams have something that attracts spiders, but it turns out they don't. Trailcam setups can, however, become hot zones for insects, and as we know, spiders love their insects, which is likely why we often see them hanging around Trailcams. But what do you think? Still on animals detecting things you wouldn't expect them to, we have this interesting trail cam footage. Watch. In the footage, we see two deer grazing. One of the two, however, is jittery and keeps looking around as though it were expecting a predator or felt something that was not right. I was tempted to think it might be normal behavior. That was, at least until I noticed the translucent thing that moved across the screen right when it turned. What was that strange thing? Is it a paranormal entity? Did that deer just notice a paranormal being? Does that mean animals are capable of detecting beings beyond our plane? Or is this video cleverly edited to make it look that way? So many questions, yet no answers. Tell us, what do you think? We'd really love to know. AI is everywhere now and involved in everything now that we basically can no longer imagine a future without some sort of AI. But is AI as safe as we think it is? Before you answer, watch this footage. Yes, those are AI robots sitting in a game. While many think this is cute and represents an advancement in the human race, you have to agree that it could be also dangerous. I mean, what if these things turn on us and start attacking? Who would be there to keep us safe? While we are trying to figure out the strange creatures and phenomena that plague our world, there are also those who choose to do strange things that leave us all shocked and questioning them. This footage was taken on a train. In the footage, we see a person in a costume and heavy makeup eating spaghetti on the floor. I mean, this is a train, and I don't even want to get started on how unsanitary that is. But what is wrong with this person? Could it be that he needs help psychologically, or is he just doing this for attention? Any New Yorker with an answer? A sighting of an otherworldly-looking creature in the woods is bound to pique anyone's curiosity and raise questions about the mysteries of the natural world. In this instance, the creature sports a striking appearance that's nothing short of alien. I mean, it's barely visible in the bushes, but looking closely, you can see it. Its eyes betray it with an eerie glow that makes it impossible to not spot it. Despite spotting a face and eyes, we still can't see the creature. Does anyone know what this is? Could it be a known wild animal, or is this truly an otherworldly and extraterrestrial encounter? Share your thoughts with me in the comments section. The allure of the unknown and the mysterious can sometimes lead to fascinating tales and unexpected discoveries. In the case of the Costa Rican fishermen back in 2011, their encounter with a peculiar sea creature must have been a thrilling experience. The creature's strange movements in the sea and its unfamiliar appearance sparked their curiosity, leading them to capture and bring it home to share their discoveries with others. It's not uncommon for such encounters to evoke thoughts of aliens or paranormal creatures, especially when faced with something entirely out of the realm of one's usual experiences. I dug deeper concerning this story and found many sources calling it a hoax, because the website that posted it had disappeared and the individual is also nowhere to be found. Given this circumstance, they concluded that the story was made up and that they probably altered an image of a stingray. What if that's not the situation, though? What if he found something and was captured to keep him silent? I guess we'll never know. Encounters with mysterious and potentially menacing intruders can be deeply unsettling, especially when they defy easy explanations. In this case, a person on a farm spots an intruder from a distance, but what they see is not someone they could simply approach and ask to leave the property. As they zoom in on the footage, the features of the creature come into focus, and it bears a striking resemblance to the elusive rake. The fear and uncertainty of the situation leave the farmer standing at a distance, watching the creature with a mix of awe and trepidation. In this image, we're introduced to a hairless bear, which at first glance might remind you of a lion with its distinctive mane. However, this is indeed a bear. The image was captured in Leipzig, a city in Germany, and it's within the confines of a local zoo. The zoo's garnered attention for its rather peculiar condition of some of its female bears, one of which is Dolores. She's noticeably devoid of fur, an appearance that's quite uncommon for a bear. The mysterious hair loss in these bears has left experts puzzled, and despite extensive investigation, a conclusive cause remains elusive. Have you ever wondered what Bigfoot sounded like? Does it speak intelligibly? If it does it sound Irish, British, or perhaps even Italian? These questions have plagued my mind for a long time, and this next footage is perhaps an answer to that.
What the fuck is that noise?
Did you hear that? The uploader of the footage states that they are Bigfoot vocalizations from the area where he lives. Bigfoot sightings have been regular there, and if anything, the sightings have increased. They hear these vocalizations. While this is certainly not what I expected, it's certainly an answer. One question still remains. Is this authentic? If it is this the only sound they actually make, or is there more? Nighttime intruders can be a cause for alarm and uncertainty, especially when they take on a strange and unsettling appearance. In this case, a homeowner was awakened by the sound of his dog barking and scratching at the door. Investigating the commotion, he was confronted with an unusual creature peering through the glass window, a sight like nothing he had ever seen before. What could this thing be? As far as he could tell, it looked like a canine, but with markings on its face that he'd never seen before. He uploaded the footage online, and the community has been divided about it. That doesn't help the owner, as encounters like these can be deeply disconcerting, leaving the observer with more questions than answers. In this case, there's also a concern for safety because his dog is scared of the creature and only barks from afar when the animal visits. Can anyone help? Ever heard of the giants or Nephilim that used to live on Earth before we came? At least, that is what some people believe, and some archaeologists have found remains of suspected giants.
A la entrada de la mina, como si nos estuvieran cuidando. Miren.
Well, someone noticed this person standing at the edge of the mountain. We cannot see the person clearly because the sun is setting, but you could make out the obvious silhouette of a human, perhaps a man. The owner of the footage believes that it's a giant because looking at the distance of the mountaintop and the size of the person standing there, this person must be very huge. What are your thoughts on this? A potential glimpse at a colossal human, or perhaps a play of shadows creating the illusion of a giant? This footage was taken in the middle of nowhere. There was a road tunnel built for trucks to go through. But hold on a second. As you can see, a truck drives into the tunnel. The video is zoomed out, and we don't see an exit for the tunnel. This brings up many questions. Where does this tunnel lead? Is it a part of an underground network connecting remote regions, or does it lead to a concealed facility that serves a specific function? An ominous function. I guess we'd never know. A security camera captured this strange encounter on the road. In the clip, a white car drives from the right side to the left and disappears. Did you see it? Take a look at it again. Did you see that? A ghost figure emerges from the left side approaching the car, but vanishes midway. Now let's entertain the skeptics who might chalk it up to a mere optical illusion or camera artifact, dismissing the possibility of a paranormal encounter. However, some believe that the translucent appearance and purposeful movement seem to defy mere optical illusions. As the ghostly person materializes and then dissipates, the footage leaves us to contemplate the thin veil that separates the realms of the living and the supernatural. What are your thoughts on this mysterious encounter? A ghostly apparition, an optical illusion, or something else? Mysterious Trailcam images like these can indeed boggle the mind and stir the imagination. In the first image, we're presented with a worm-like creature featuring an eerie human arm, which is truly grotesque and an unsettling sight. The creature resembles a fleshy blob that seems more at home in a sci-fi horror movie than in the depths of the wilderness. In the subsequent image, we encounter a creature that bears some similarities, but with an added eerie twist. This time, it sports two large fangs protruding from its mouth, along with a set of razor-sharp teeth. The contrast between the two images is enough to leave anyone pondering the nature of these mysterious creatures. Are they the result of some natural anomaly? Are we dealing with an optical illusion or a prankster's creation? Whatever the case is, these Trailcam images are unsettling, and I pray no one has to encounter creatures such as these. Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode, a possible rake sighting is certainly an intriguing and spine-tingling prospect. In the heart of the night, a peculiar creature is discovered perched on a wooden structure within a field. The creature is characterized by its glowing eyes and a body that appears eerily human and crouched. This unsettling presence sits atop the structure for a time, an eerie silhouette against the darkness. Then, with an almost supernatural grace, it jumps off and vanishes into the obscurity of the night. Whether this is indeed a sighting of a rake or something else entirely remains a mystery, but it's an encounter that tantalizes the imagination, does it not? In this fascinating footage, a man at the Carolina South Park came across something sticking out of the frozen water nearby. At first, he thought it was a tree branch until he took a closer look. That was no tree, but the snout of an alligator. Unlike us, they don't need coats to stay warm during chilling weather. Instead, they enter a state of hibernation, lowering their metabolism and conserving energy. They position themselves in the water with only their nostrils above the surface, allowing them to breathe while staying submerged. In this next video, a woman stands before the camera showcasing both sides of her face. At first glance, you might wonder why we're so focused on her appearance. Well, there's a fascinating reason for this scrutiny. Just take a look. In the next clip, you see a different version of her. She's undergone facial surgery, tightening her skin to achieve a more youthful look. The results are impressive. Her features are smoother, her skin taut, and the overall effect is a rejuvenated appearance that seems to turn back the clock. It's remarkable how accessible these transformations have become. Modern cosmetic procedures allow people to achieve significant changes with relative ease. She looks like an entirely different person. It's truly astonishing. A man captured something in the sky. In the blue sky, there was a strange light that began to expand into a bigger circle and was spreading. As the light grew bigger, it began to form strange patterns in the sky. The man who captured this whole thing says that this was some type of artificial sky, like some sort of screen that can be used to display anything. There are some that say that the Earth is covered in a dome. Some also believe that this could be a blue beam projection. What do you think? This man has been going around looking for a mark on people's arms after hearing a theory from a waiter he met. According to the man, a black dot on the arm signifies that a person is a clone. Eerily enough, some of the people he encounters have the same mark on the same spot in their left arm. This is very unsettling, especially since it's the first time anyone has heard of this theory. Quick question though, would a clone know they're a clone? Assuming this is true, of course. Well, we don't know, but we'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Before the next clip though, just pause the clip and check if you've got any of the features he described. If you do, leave a comment in the comments section and state whether you believe you're a clone or not. And believe me when I say the government didn't ask me to do this to fish out the clones, I promise. Antarctica is believed to be one of the most suspicious places in the world, with a lot of conspiracies behind it. Some say it's an alien base, and some say the end of the world. Now, in this clip, a Russian visited Antarctica in search of something we're not sure of. So he begins to use his hand to dig through the snow, and as he's clearing the snow dust, this is what he comes across on the icy ground: an alien head, frozen. It had huge black eyes and an oddly shaped face. The man looked so excited he'd found an alien face in the snow, but not everyone was convinced. As with many extraordinary claims, separating fact from fiction is difficult. While the footage is compelling, it leaves questions unanswered. Was the alien head truly discovered in Antarctica, or was it a fabrication? Take a look at this, a strange creature with many eyes. If you don't know already, these were generated by AI. While they're impressive, a number of individuals find them unsettling. On one hand, they showcase the incredible potential of AI to create highly realistic content. On the other hand, they raise concerns about the implications of this technology, particularly when it comes to misinformation and the manipulation of visual media. Personally, I love these because I believe they enhance creativity, but not all feel the same way. Today, I'd love to hear how you feel about this aspect of AI. Please share in the comments section. Some scientists found these mummies from Nazca, Peru. These mummies, referred to as the Nazca mummies, were found in the desert region and are considered to be triductile human remains. The mummies were preserved by the desert climate. They provide a rare opportunity for researchers to delve into the customs, practices, and identities of these ancient people. Scientists are still running more tests to find out more about these mummies, so we'll wait and see if there is something else to these mummies or not. One person in my team thinks it might be an alien, but let's see. There are stories of evil spirits or even ghosts latching onto people and haunting them. In such cases, the haunted seek spiritual help to get rid of the entity following them. In this video, a TikTok user shared a video. In it, you can see he works at a supermarket, and according to him, he was alone when he noticed a dark entity following him from afar in the market. He managed to capture it while it appeared and was walking from the far end of the aisle. There, over there. It's a dark figure. A few months later, this man was woken up at night by his dog barking all through the night, so he went out to see and found nothing. Then he went to check on his security camera, and from the opposite house, he saw the dark figure staring at him. According to him, that house had been abandoned for a while, so it could not be a neighbor. What do you think of the whole thing? Is it the entity from the supermarket following him, or is this somehow some coincidence? This woman was at a supermarket called Michael's when she saw something strange. At the entrance where the shopping carts were neatly parked, one of the carts reversed its way out and turned itself toward the people almost as if someone was pushing it. The woman, understandably freaked out, took a quick photo and rushed to check the security footage. What she sees sends shivers down her spine. The cart did indeed move on its own, just like she saw. But how? Some say it could be the ghost of a former shopper haunting the aisles of Michael's. Some say it might be the spirit of a regular customer who's come back for one last shopping trip. Having seen it yourself, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? What are the odds that lightning will strike the power station? Turns out the probability is quite high, especially in Houston. You see the damage, right? After speaking to authorities, they didn't expect to be able to fix things for at least 2 to 4 weeks. When the individual who recorded this shared it on his platform, many were skeptical about it. They didn't think that lightning could do this. They believe there's more that the authorities aren't sharing. What do you think? And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Oh, yep, and before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love.